win her home Grand Slam in 44 years after beating Daniela Collins 6-3 and 7-6. Now, the world number one winning her third Grand Slam to add to her French Open success in 2019 and the Wimbledon triumph last year. Well, a lot to celebrate, of course. I'll see you in another hour with another touch-up on the sport. For now, though, here's Jamie Lee Domberg with the weather.
Thank you so much, Raul, for that sports update. Some sad news on the weather front is that UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres says the deadly storm that hit southern African countries last week has shown the reality of the climate crisis and is a blunt reminder of the impact that climate change is having. He said more investment was needed to protect as well as save lives. The death toll from the destruction caused by Storm Anna has now risen to 84. In Madagascar, the death toll stands at 48. In Mozambique, 18 people have lost their lives, and in Malawi, 11. Meanwhile, authorities are now watching to see if a second storm, Batsarai, will hit the continent this week. The system, which has formed over the Indian Ocean, is expected to move towards Reunion and possibly the island of Madagascar later this week. Up to 6 tropical cyclones are expected before the rainy season ends in March. I guess yet another harsh reminder to us all to really play our part in reducing our daily carbon footprint to help reduce the impact on our environment, and certainly our thoughts and prayers are with all of those in the areas hit by this deadly storm. Next, moving to our regular sunrise contributions, we have fresh views to share at the start of this brand new week. Lynn Ings-Odgers from Heidelberg shares this dark yet silhouetted shot showing off a red glow in the far distance as the sun begins to rise. Then Renee Lemmer from Glen Eden on the Wild Coast also shared this photo of the cloudy morning sky over her area, showcasing the clouds being illuminated from behind the cloud cover by the sun. We love seeing it. We love starting our Monday morning with you. But right now, here is a first look at the temperatures for today. For you, Polokwane, it is a low of 15 that will peak at 27. If you do find yourself in Umbombela today, do expect some thunder showers coming your way with a minimum of 20 and a maximum of 27. For you, Pretoria, your low is 17 that will peak at 26. Johannesburg, the city of gold, coming through with a low of 16 and a high of 24 as well. Mahikeng, your range is 17 to 27. Klerksdorp, for you, it is 15, 26. And if you do find yourself in Kimberley today, do expect a low of 20 and a high of 24. Bloemfontein as well can be seen with a minimum of 17 and a maximum of 25, as well as Richards Bay, partly cloudy conditions are expected on this Monday with a minimum of 22 and a maximum of 33. Pietermaritzburg, for you, it is 18, 31. Durban, for you, it is 24, 30. And then for Mthatha as well, cloudy conditions are expected on this Monday with a range of 18 to 32. East London, for you, it is 22, 29, Craddock 19, 32. Gqeberha as well can be seen with a low of 20 and a high of 27. And then if you do find yourself in George today, do expect a low of 20 and a high of 26. The mother city, Cape Town, sunshine is coming your way with a range of 20 to 28. Worcester 22, 36. Sutherland 16, 28. And then last but definitely not least, Uppington ranges from 21 to 29. Wherever you find yourself on this Monday, it's the last day of January. Make it count.
Definitely.
Thank you so much. Yeah, indeed. And of course, the temperatures are looking good. And of course, we are doing something special. It's Monday. We're kicking off the week, kicking everybody off into February. But before we do that, we have some special words which we wanted to share, because this is really important to us and our family at SABC, of course, right?
That is. And tributes have been pouring in for one of the country's most respected radio broadcasters, Mama Winnie Mahlangu, who sadly passed away last Thursday at the age of 88. Now, she holds the esteem of joining the SABC as the first black female radio broadcaster under permanent employment back in 1962 at Radio Bantu, also known now as Ukhozi FM.
All right. Now, she was born and bred in Witbank, and this is in Mpumalanga in 1934. And she started out as a teacher before being brought to Durban to grow Radio Zulu within Radio Bantu. Now, she dominated the airwaves and was promoted in 1991, where she specialized in radio programs focused on empowering women in rural areas as well as urban areas too. Absolutely love it.
There we go. Mahlangu was awarded and celebrated throughout her life, receiving the country's high honor of the Order of Ikhamanga in 2015. In 2020, Ukhuzi FM launched the Winnie Mahlangu Female Presenter Search Competition as part of the station's Women's Month commemorations that year.
Absolutely love to see it, and she absolutely inspired so many women to break their shackles and enter into industries otherwise dominated by men. Now, she definitely will be remembered for amazing personality and great compassion. She spent her last years with her 5 grandchildren and 5 great-grandchildren, and still enjoyed listening to the radio, of course, which we absolutely love to hear. So from us here at the Expresso family, may her soul rest in peace, eternal peace, and of course power, and we thank you for your legacy that you've left behind.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yeah, the man's back, and we're about to talk about something special. History was made this weekend, and there's so much to dive into right now. We're starting off with Ashley Barty, who made this history by becoming the first woman, or the first Australian woman in 44 years to win her home Grand Slam. On top of that, we had Rafa Nadal claiming a record 21st Grand Slam title after coming from 2 sets down to beat Daniel Medvedev. Now, sports anchor and producer Michael Pedro is here in the building, is about to review all the action, of course, and take us through everything that went down. How you doing, man?
I'm good, Raul. It was a good weekend of sport.
Yeah.
5 hours yesterday watching tennis. Couldn't have asked
Dude,
for.
and I'm looking at those stats. I unfortunately didn't get to see that game specifically,
Yeah.
but it sounded like an absolute banger. Before we get into it, though, let's chat about the history that was made. Ashley Barty doing something special, and also coming back in that second set from, I think, something like 5-1
Yes.
down to kind of take it back.
Yeah.
What do you make of her performance, man?
Yeah, I think the whole Australian summer, she's just been absolutely dominant.
Yeah.
Anyone she's faced, she's had an answer for. Even in the warm-up tournaments before the Australian Open actually started, and then just pretty much steamrolling everyone at the Australian Open itself. And that comeback from 5-1 down in the second set was probably like the biggest test that she's had in the tournament so far, well, and leading up to the final. So for her to pull that out in the final, come back from 5-1 down, claim the second set, win the match, make the history that she made, I think is a very special moment for her. And I think she can probably go on and do the same at a number of other Grand Slams coming up this year.
I was about to ask you, because I mean, I'm looking at her right now, 25 years old. I mean, in tennis, in my world, that's young. In tennis, might not be that young, but it does mean you have some experience, of course. Now, matching that experience with performance, especially on a day when it counts, it does seem like she has the making of someone that has the potential to go on and carry on producing this result. Your thoughts on that when it comes to competition for the rest of comps coming up?
Yeah, I think in the women's draw, it's a little bit more open generally than in the men's. I mean, Danielle Collins made it into the final, 21st ranked seed. So no one really expected her to get as far as she did. But I think in terms of consistency and constantly putting in those good performances, Ashley Barty seems to be the only one in the women's section who is doing that. So I think if she can stay injury-free, no Serena Williams at the moment. We don't know when she's coming back. probably she's the only one who can challenge Barty at the moment, I would think. So yeah, I think this year could be the year of Ashley Barty.
It would be a great challenge. I'm just thinking about it now. I mean, you've got an absolute goat of a legend coming through with the Williams over there, and then seeing this new blood with a little bit of experience and now some track record as well. I'd love to see that match head-to-head. But look, of course, we've got so much to chat about as well. Rafa Nadal doing something absolutely special, creating history on his 21st Grand Slam title. And he had to work for this one, man. I've never seen him kind of putting up against a competitor like that. Coming from behind once again. Was this a matter of Nadal finding his flow state again, or was Medvedev just kind of stepping it up this year?
Yeah, I think Medvedev has hit form since the back end of last year, obviously winning the US Open. He's going to be the #1 seed in the world in the next couple of weeks, obviously with Djokovic not having played here in the Australian Open. So he's performing at a high level, and Nadal, I think it makes it even more special. Not just the fact that he came from 2 sets to love down, not just the fact that he's 10 years older than his opponent, not just the fact that it's the 21st Grand Slam, but 6 months ago, he was on crutches. He didn't know if he was even going to play tennis again. And to come back, the first Grand Slam of the year, and to put in the performance that he did, and also in the build-up to that, he had a couple of sort of semi-final and quarter-final clashes that also went for over 4 hours, close to 5 hours. So his legs probably would have been feeling it, and you could see when he went into sort of the recovery area afterwards, he just kind of collapsed on the floor.
Gave it all, gave it everything.
I mean, full credit to him. This is why he's one of the best ever.
But I mean, you speak about that, you speak of the fact that 6 months after this, he's winning a Grand Slam, and I don't know, as an athlete, as someone that can relate, you're not at 100% yet, so this potentially could just be the start of Nadal's reign, but could this be something that would have been started by Djokovic had he been there? I mean, I have to bring it up. Obviously, we've got all the GOATs still playing. Well, Federer was also in the game. He's also still playing tennis, but more than anything else, do you think Djokovic could have made that difference for this final?
I think he definitely would have been in the final. I'm not sure how it would have played out if he made it and was facing Nadal, but I think if Djokovic was at the Australian Open, I don't think Medvedev would have made the final. I think if they had to play against each other, Djokovic probably would have won out, but I think Medvedev and Nadal are pretty happy that Djokovic wasn't there.
Look, speaking about all the lads right now, I know someone always has the debate. I mean, soccer has the Messi, Ronaldo. In tennis right now, how are you feeling about talking about a GOAT? When you talk about someone like Nadal, obviously, 21st Grand Slam, I mean, so many years in the game, can we put him up there on the GOAT level? I mean, compared to Djokovic, the likes of Federer? What do you think?
I mean, for me personally, Federer will always be my favorite, just because he's the guy that sort of got me into watching tennis. And Djokovic and Nadal sort of followed after that. But I think if you're looking at those three in terms of impact in the game and what they've done outside of tennis as well, they're all pretty much equal. So good luck to whoever has to decide.
Look, Mike, you've been an absolute legend once again. We'll be chatting later about some more sport coming through. But Mzansi, thank you for joining us. Of course, this is the Sport Review here with Mike Pedro. We're going to be chatting to you a little bit later. We were talking about the Grand Slam, talking about all the titles that have been won. And speaking of a title, here's one you can win right now. Start your morning off and get off the couch and get active. Enjoy this one.
But not just any kind of active, an active recovery workout which involves performing low-intensity exercises following a strenuous workout. And an active recovery is often considered more beneficial than inactivity, resting completely or sitting. Now, it can also help keep the blood flowing and help muscles recover and rebuild from intense physical activity. And here to take us through some of these exercises is fitness trainer Morne Smal. Good morning.
Good morning.
I am ready for this. A little bit of an active recovery. It's a little bit of an oxymoron.
Yeah,
active
it is
recovery.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, so we definitely want to kind of slow things down. The set of exercises I'm going to show you it's very flowy. It's got some mobility in it as well, so it does help with the stretching after a session and even before a session to even raise the cardiovascular levels and also raise the body temperature up a little bit.
Fantastic. Well, let's get started.
Cool. So you're going to start off with a squat before every exercise. So the first one is a squat. Okay, so we'll get nice and deep as we can, down and up. Okay. Then the next one, you're going to go down, you're going to hold the squat, okay? You're going to move onto your hands and you're going to perform a push-up. Okay, so just down and up there. There we go. And then you're going to stand. There we go. Okay, and then the next one, back down into the squat, onto your hands again, and this time into a sit through. So you'll take one leg, you're gonna kick through, out to the side, okay? And then you're gonna be back into the squat position, back down onto the hands, and you're gonna sit through onto the other side. There we go. And back down, and you're gonna stand.
Okay.
That's it, okay. Then back down into the squat again. Hands down, go, or out to the side. Then you're gonna twist back, okay, out to the side, and then back into the squat position, and then back onto the other side, and forward, and up.
That burns the legs.
It does, it does. Okay, and then we're gonna go back down again, okay? You're gonna push your hands down. What you're gonna do is you're gonna kick one leg back, okay? You're gonna twist out to the side, so you'll push your hip down, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna pull that hip into your chest, okay? Nice little glute stretch, right? Bring those hands forward again, kick your leg forward, and back to the squat, okay? And then you're gonna kick again. So you're gonna kick that other leg back, twist out to the side, bring your leg in into a glute stretch, then bring that leg up again, other leg up, back into the squat, and stand.
Amazing.
Right. Okay, next one, again, back down into the squat.
I feel like I need to first see what you're going to do, because I get surprised when I'm in a squat.
Put those hands down. Okay, you're going to go into a sprawl. So you're going to kick both legs back this time. So both legs back, push those hips down, okay, chest up. Then you're going to kick both legs up, into the squat, and up. Okay, and then the last one, okay, it's a little bit of a bolomakisi, back into
I feel
a
like you need to
squat.
demonstrate this.
Yeah, I'll demo it for you. So you're going to move back down into the squat. You're going to kick back, okay, and then up, and stand.
Should I try that?
Okay,
Okay, you
yeah.
doing it with me, Mornay.
Sure, I will do.
Okay.
So you want to kick back as far back as you can. Okay, you'll get a little bit of a nice little glute hammy stretch over there. So it's down, kick back as far as you can, create a bit of momentum, forward, and up. Yeah, we go. Yes, well done. Nice, good work.
Thank you.
There we go. Okay, so that kind of incorporates everything. Okay, so it's got a bit of stretching, bit of spinal stretching as well. And yeah, definitely cools you down, or might lift the body temperature.
The heart rate got up a little bit.
But yeah, definitely going into the deep crevices of the body there.
Amazing. Well, Mornay, thank you so much for this incredible active recovery. Definitely active. That last one was quite something. So thank you for pushing me out of my comfort zone.
There we go.
There we go. Where can people get a hold of you on social media?
I'm One Stunner on Instagram. That's pretty much where I post everything that I do physically. And yeah, and I'm at CrossFit False Bay.
Okay.
As a personal trainer and as a CrossFit coach.
Okay, fantastic. So we did do our active recovery. I think we still have a little bit of time, like a minute or so, to do a bit of a stretch. So post-active recovery, do you still recommend stretching?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So you can, especially with that your body is nice and warm already after training, you can definitely move into more static stretching, so something that you lie down. So definitely you want to get your glutes, okay? So that's quite important, you know. So you can lie down. Nice, easy one is bringing your leg across, okay, and then pulling your leg into your chest. Okay, that's pretty similar to the one that we just did now, okay, and then that'll definitely get your glutes. Okay, so here you want to posture up, pull your shoulders back. Okay, then also what you can do is kind of progress into turning your shoulders across, okay, and then pushing up against your knee, and then also getting a bit of a back stretch there as well.
And a teeny tiny back click.
Yeah, if you're lucky, if you're lucky. Okay, then the next one, okay, all you can do as well is be on your knees, okay, up onto your knees. Okay, so you're gonna sit back, push your arms forward, push your chest and your hands through the floor, okay, and then your head through the floor there. You're gonna hold that position for a couple of seconds. And then what you're going to do is you're going to drive your hips forward and your chest up and hold there for a couple of seconds.
There we
There we
go.
Yeah, that is pretty nice.
And I think that stretching is one of those things we all are guilty of skipping after a workout.
Oh, it's the easiest thing for me to do as well.
Yeah,
I know,
we're all guilty of
definitely.
it. Well, Mornay, thank you for showing us these wonderful ways to do an active recovery as well as to focus on stretching. And yes, we all skip stretching, but it's important for us not to do so. Thank you so much for this wonderful workout.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Well, there you have it, Mzansi. If you perhaps have a little bit of an active recovery that you like to, participate in, why don't you share that with us on our social media at expressoshow.com.
Only you can make my day.
Simple as CBD should be.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, Mzansi, welcome back. As promised, we are here with a specialist in the building, wrapping up on all the magic that happened this weekend, and that is when it comes to sport. And speaking of sport, the Stormers fought back from a 14-point behind game to clinch a last-gasp draw against the Sharks. And the Bulls, meanwhile, returned to winning ways with a dominant performance against the Lions in Joburg. But yet to, of course, review the matches, dive into all the magic, of course, is our producer, Michael Pedro, and anchor for sports in the building, man. Chatting about the epicness that happened when it comes to tennis this past weekend, sorry. And there's so much action that happened. Obviously, the sevens went down, but also rugby in general was a big talking point. First matchup, of course, was Stormers versus the Sharks, a much anticipated match, especially, as you mentioned, the Stormers coming from quite a big win against the Bulls last weekend. So looking like they're going to carry that momentum through. But this didn't seem to be the case this weekend. What do you make of the game, the performance, the Sharks kind of letting it slip, I believe? So what are your thoughts on that, man?
No, I think it was a weird game, to be honest.
Yeah?
The Sharks looked good on attack. They looked enterprising. I mean, that backline with Mapimpi, Fassi, how can it not be?
How can you not? That's like
how can it not be? It's basically the Springbok backline. And I think they just sort of gave it away towards the end. They had, I think, 2 yellow cards in the last 10 minutes. They had 4 yellow cards throughout the whole game. Okay, the last one didn't really impact the match that much. It was the penalty try that Fassi gave away for a deliberate knock on, pretty much on the final hooter. But I think the Sharks were their own worst enemies in this game. They had the lead. They were playing well. They just missed quite a lot of kicks. They missed a lot of 3-point opportunities, and then just ill discipline cost them in the end. I mean, 2 penalty tries, pretty much in the same half as well.
That's like 14 points you're giving away.
Exactly.
Right? That is huge. I mean, sometimes you spend a whole game trying to get a score like that, and that's a massive decider.
And especially, I think the penalty try that was given right at the end was pretty much after the final hooter. So to have that ill discipline, I think the Sharks will be very disappointed in that performance.
Disappointed, but at the same time, this could be the fuel that incites them to do a little bit better this weekend. Of course, they're going to be playing against each other again, I believe, this weekend coming up, Stormers versus the Sharks. Improvements, obviously, we've spoken about the Sharks. They just kind of need to get the schoolboy areas out the way, stop giving away certain points. What do the Stormers need to do? Obviously, coming from a big game, you'd expect them to kind of walk away, especially with a team that's making mistakes like this, yet they weren't able to fully capitalize on that. What's letting them down? What's holding them back?
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be the key for them, is capitalizing on those mistakes this coming weekend, because they didn't really make the most of the opportunities that they were given throughout the game. And I think defensively, they could also be a little bit more structured as well. and in attack, maybe a little bit more flair, a little bit more enterprising kind of play. They are still very forward-orientated and just want to crash the ball over the line, but I think they've got the back line with the likes of Damian Willemse, Warwick Gelant, Siabelo Sanatla. They've got the players in the back line.
The pizzazz from the Sevens players as well. I mean,
exactly.
You should be feeding that ball out because you don't know what to expect. You know it's going to be something electric when they get it, so why not feed it out?
Exactly. So I think that's what they'll be looking to do against the Sharks this coming weekend. And obviously they'll have a little bit more momentum than the Sharks, having come from behind and got the draw. For the Sharks, it probably would feel like a loss. Whereas it'll give the Stormers a bit more of a boost than the Sharks, for sure.
Yeah, all right. And again, of course, with our local talent and our local rivalries, how can you forget the Bulls versus the Lions? Always a big anticipated match. This time the Bulls back to winning ways, of course. A dominant performance. I don't know what you thought of it. And with the scoreline being so big, I believe they also still were disallowed 2 tries on top of that. So it could have been a whitewash in a weird way. Thoughts on the performances exactly?
Yeah, I think the Bulls were kind of out for blood this week after having suffered that sort of last-minute defeat against the Stormers the week before. And they showed their class. I mean, they've been one of, well, probably the best team in South African rugby over the last sort of 12 to 18 months, apart from that blip against the Stormers. But they were back to winning ways, showing their dominance, enterprising play in the back line, too physical up front for the Lions. And I think the Lions have always sort of been the team, with all due respect to them, that kind of drop off the standard a little bit. If you look at the Sharks, you look at the Stormers and the Bulls, their level is at the utmost all the time. And I think the Lions sort of have those games where they kind of slip off a little bit and drop the levels. And this was one of them. And to do that against a team like the Bulls, you're going to get punished all day long.
Yeah, and I think it's something that I'm noticing quite a bit when it comes to the Lions. Just in that later half of the performance, there's a little bit of a lacking when it comes to the defense, especially. I mean, we saw it in this game. Something I feel like they're definitely going to need to improve on, especially if they're going to stop playing other teams in the championship. How do you think they can get this right?
Yeah, I think they're also trying to find a bit of a balance in terms of youth and experience throughout their squad, not just in the back line or up front with the forwards. There are a lot of new players who are experiencing this level pretty much for the first time, so we can't be too hard on them in that respect. But I think the coach, Ivan van Rooyen, has been around for a while. He's been in the Lions setup for many years now. So I think if there's anyone who can start getting the best out of the players, it is him. It's just about them showing that discipline and implementing the game plan on game day. Because you can see that they work on a lot of things on the training ground. It just doesn't always come off on match day. So it's about that execution when it counts.
Executing in the right moments, of course, just like you've done now, executing on the job. Well done, my friend, serving us all the action that came to this weekend. I can't thank you enough. It's been exciting. It's been somewhat of an educational experience at the same time. I know there's a lot to look forward to this coming weekend, and you've given us every reason to do that. But man, have a beautiful start to your week. Thank you for feeding us.
Thanks
and I think you fed me enough to get hungry, enough to get in the kitchen and feed the belly now. Let's do just that, Mzansi.
And we are about to feed you, about to feed the nation. It's the last day of Jan. It's also back to school season. It is here. And while most of us are still settling in, being back to reality, finding time to cook a homemade dinner during these busy weeks can be so difficult. And this morning, we are joined by the lovely Jenny Morris as she shows us how to make a delicious meal perfect for those busy weeknights, which is not only scrumptious, but oh so simple too. And she's looking so beautiful. How are you?
Oh, well, good morning, darling, and how are you?
I'm good. I didn't get to say happy birthday last week, but everyone was sending so much love for you. How was your birthday?
It was amazing. It hasn't stopped. It keeps going.
Look at you glowing as always.
Glowing.
I love to see it. I love to see it. But that's the thing. You are such a busy person. You're always hosting. You're out there. When I see Jenny Morris is the headline, you don't always have time to cook. But now, Mama, you are making something so simple that even we can do at home. She's already coming through with a bit of flour bay.
Do you know what I'm doing?
What are you doing?
And you can do this, and you can do this. You know what? You don't have to feel bad about going to a supermarket and buying some dough, because we're talking about busy moms, right? So what I'm going to do is, would you like to touch my dough?
I can touch your dough, yes.
Touch my dough, baby.
There we go.
And flip my dough
I can flip whatever you want me to do. Jenny, you know when you're in the kitchen, you make me work. So I already came prepared knowing that Jenny is going to put me to work.
And literally, I'm going to roll this out, and we're going to make these beautiful parcels. Oh, look, I have a little bit of dough on my finger. That's fine. So we're going to make these parcels, a little bit more flour, and we're going to cut them into squares. And then we're going to stuff them and fill them. You're going to start chopping me some little blocks.
Little blocks.
Not too big, sweetheart.
Okay, I can do that for you.
Yeah, not too big. And I'm going to press this out nicely. There we go.
And again, I love that we're playing with some colour as well, because I see some cheese over there.
Absolutely. Looks like
some
the
chicken
Italian
fingers.
flag.
Yummy.
We've got lovely chicken fingers, and that's another convenient thing that's going to make life so much easier for the moms. Yeah. So you can literally pop into the supermarket, grab a couple of fingers. You don't even have to make the tomato sauce. Grab a can. I mean, away you go.
And
So
you're not
here-
skimping on flavour, even though it's so quick and it's easy, it's convenient, but you're not skimping on those
Absolutely.
flavours and the nutrition as well. So you said small
Absolutely.
blocks like this, right?
Yeah, a little bit smaller.
This fine?
Yes. Now, darling, how big do you like it? Should I make you like a big...
Eat in frani
one.
biryani, like make it big so then I know I'm getting all of that in at the same time.
So I'm
Or
gonna make
small
a-
ones, it depends.
Well, look, for the kids, you'll make it a little bit smaller. So I would say, like, for Dad, maybe you can have like a double one. And then for children, a little bit smaller. And then what we're going to do is take some of this. Look here, just take a nice little bit of...
Look at that tomato sauce as well.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
So
and
yummy.
stick it just on the
Mediterranean.
side, like so.
Okay.
Look at that.
And this is our filling, correct?
Yes.
This can be our filling.
So you can just put a tiny little bit
Got it.
on the side. And oregano. It's almost like a pizza.
It
It's like
is.
a-
And
yeah,
this is
a
all the
little
flavours that my son
calzone.
loves. This is
Yeah.
all the flavours that my son loves. He is obsessed
Does he?
with pizza.
Does he?
So he is going to eat this for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He's going to be like, Mom, I want this.
Exactly. So why should it only be for dinner?
Maybe.
You know, we were saying busy moms for dinner. What about the weekends?
Yeah,
You know?
or even just popping this into the lunchbox for them. It's so convenient.
Gorgeous.
It's already
Gorgeous.
packaged. Of course, our Simply Chicken fingers is going in. No added MSG. Ticks off all the
No.
boxes for us. So has it extra bit of chicken just for the protein as well.
That's it. And then you just seal them off nicely. You can flip one of those over if you like.
This. I'm just
And
gonna
then
press it together.
Yeah, and we can just stretch and seal, and you just bring it, and then you seal it up nicely, seal the sides, and pop it onto a tray, and just literally, there we go. Look at that. It's as simple as that.
Are we going to wash it with anything, or can you just pop it in just
you
like
don't
this?
have to wash it with anything. If you want to like give it the Portuguese roll look, you can put a bit of flour on it, you know.
Shake, shake.
But yeah, shake, indeed.
Someone said that you could I pop this into my air fryer as well?
You could.
You could?
Because it's dry heat, you know.
It will do that, but
yeah, it's dry heat.
ideally you'd want to just put it in the grill, nice.
Yeah.
For how long?
Oven. Just stick
Oven?
it, like baking it like a loaf of bread, 180 for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
How do you do it?
Until that's cooked.
How do you do it? How do you find a balance between being Jenny Morris, who she is, like out there, and then still finding time to create recipes like this that's simple for us, and then all the moms out there is probably loving you for now, because we're just like, yes, I can do that. If Jenny Morris can do it, so quick, easy, 2 minutes.
Absolutely.
We could possibly try to do it as good as Jenny.
Do you know what it is? You've got to just say to yourself, I can have something fresh, something convenient, and I don't have to feel guilty.
What are your intentions for 2022? I didn't get to speak to you, but what are your intentions this year? How are you going to again find that balance?
The balance? Well, I'm imbalanced anyway, so nothing's going to change that. But I'm busy writing a book, a new cookbook, and I'm going to do another little TV series, and I'm going to love you, and I'm going to feed you and all my babies on set. I'm just going to be your mummy.
We love you. Is that an exclusive? Jenny Morris coming through with a brand new book, everybody. She's telling us, and a brand new cook show. We're so happy that we just get to spend a few minutes with you every single week. So thank you so much for joining us and for making dinner and making moms everywhere so happy with this convenience meal. Of course, for you at home, it is back to reality. It can be daunting, but when it comes to mealtime, keep things simple with Simply Chicken. Now, to get your hands on this very delicious recipe, visit expressoshow.com. Remember to also follow @SimplyChickenZA on Instagram for more quick and easy recipes. Of course, it's a brand new year, a new week, and you stand a new chance at winning yourself an Instant Vortex air fryer, which we absolutely love with Simply Chicken. To become this week's lucky winner, simply reply to the competition post on the Expresso Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram page and tell us your #RealMom back to school lunch and dinner stories. We want to hear all of it. Get into that. Spill all the tea with us. You not only stand to win this amazing air fryer, but also a chance to tell your story on Expresso and automatically be entered into the draw for the grand cash prize of 10,000 Rand. It could be yours. Of course, don't forget to include that #RealMom in your answer, and the competition closes this Friday, the 4th of Feb at midday. And remember, those T's and C's do apply, and they can be found on our website, expressoshow.com. You are welcome.
back. This is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso. Now, when I say the following names, Don Vino, Lauren Lee, and Maritza, they are all top local artists set to entertain audiences this coming Valentine's weekend with a live concert in collaboration with Britain's Got Talent alum Faith Tucker and other supporting British acts. Now, it is a unique show with 2 concerts taking place in 2 locations. That's Manchester Cathedral in the UK and Brackenfell in Cape Town, both happening at the same time. And of course, here to tell us more about this very extraordinary evening, and that will sure be able to entertain all of us, is Don Vino, Lauren Lee, and Maritza. Good morning.
Morning. Bright and early, I know the feeling. Lauren, Don Vino, this is not your first rodeo. You've been on the couch before.
Yeah.
Maritza, it's your first time here, so welcome to it.
Thank you.
How does it feel to be here?
Great. Exciting. Nervous a little bit.
Nervous, that's fine, it's all new. But I mean, being able to be part of a lineup like this, I love the fact that it's UK and Brackenfell, a bit of both worlds, just like putting it out there, taking us international.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah. Don Vino, I mean, you've been on our couch quite a few times, and you always bring such a unique sound to everything that you do, and also a success to every project you take on. Now, you've performed with numerous artists, and this is also something quite special. Can you tell us a little bit more about this event, how it all came about? I mean, 2 locations, 2 countries at the same time.
This is something
Okay,
special.
Judy Boucher.
You had to go there. Yeah, look, I'm excited. This is something different. It's a first, you know, the brainchild of David Gummers and Samantha Oliphant. And I'm just excited that they asked me to be a part of it. And I'm joined by these beautiful young ladies and amazingly talented young ladies, you know, and, you know, streaming at the same time from Cape Town, and Cape Town with love, to the UK. I'm just beyond excited, beyond excited. And people can look forward to an amazing show. Love songs, a bit of dance, you know, and just exciting times, you know. So, yeah, Maritza and Lauren, it's my first time performing with them.
Okay.
So
Okay.
this is going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. You know.
How's the rehearsals been going? Because obviously it's live. There's no take. There's no retakes.
No.
It's been good.
Yeah, it has been good. Yeah.
I'm just going to jump on stage and do my thing. That's just
Yes.
Definitely. And we know that every time you go into stage, you bring it, you wow the audiences. I've already booked you for my wedding. I don't even have a husband yet. But I keep telling Davina, I'm like, Davina, you are playing for my wedding. And he's like, yeah, when are you getting married? I'm like, I don't know. I haven't found out. But Lauren, tell us about your experience. I mean, I don't want to name drop, but like GFAB choir though. Like, you guys are performing with some of the best in the gospel space as well.
Yes.
That must be pretty exciting as well.
It is exciting, and what I like about the show is the fact that the show is happening at the same time. Obviously, there's a 2-hour difference, but it's happening at the same time. And what is nice is that technology can bring us all together.
Yep.
And it's really amazing to me. And here's the G choir. They from the gospel choir, and they play on BBC Radio all the time, and they're quite big on that side. So it's exciting to know that we're not on the same stage, but being or performing or being in the same lineup, that is great, man. So
it's going to feel like we're on the same stage.
yes. That's true.
It's going to feel like that, yes.
That is special.
Yeah,
And I mean, in the UK, there's such a big expat community. So you guys are going to have lots of support, people being excited to also, you know, get their hands on these tickets.
Yeah.
Now, Don Vino, I know you mentioned there's going to be some singing, there's going to be dancing. What other, in terms of the other lineup, what can we expect in terms of...
Who's the singer from Britain?
Faith Tucker.
Faith Tucker, yeah. Look, I'm excited about that, you know, so I don't know her personally, but I think when we hit the stage, it's going to feel like we all know each other.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a sense of family, you know,
Yeah.
a sense of camaraderie
Yes.
and whatnot, you know. But with these type of love songs, it's going to feel, well, when I perform, I am very much about nostalgia. You know, so like a Judy Boucher. Yeah, but so people are going to be really, they're going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
They're going to enjoy it because these love songs are timeless, you know.
And that's what the arts does. It connects people. Music does that. It just moves you in a certain way. Maritza, you coming here, fresh face, Afrikaans singer. I mean, you excited as well, nervous, but just, again, being able to perform with people that has been in the industry and dominating, and now them taking you under their wing to just showcase you and show you off on this platform.
Yes, it's very exciting. I'm very honored. I think for me, singing in Afrikaans for UK people is like, what's happening? But I'm going to stay true to me and do what I love. And so I hope they enjoy it. That's all I can ask for, actually. So, yeah.
They will enjoy it because Afrikaans is beautiful. It's one of those languages that's a very descriptive language. And now you're also adding that to music. So everyone will be able to relate it in their own unique way. That's beautiful. And are you excited to be singing all the Afrikaans treffers?
Yes.
All the love songs?
Doing some old Afrikaans, and then I'm also doing some new songs of myself, and so buy a ticket and see.
Speaking about the tickets, where can people get hold of the tickets if people want to see the show? Obviously, couples would want to see it. It's Valentine's weekends. You're going to be hitting us in the field. So how can people get hold of the tickets? Where can they sign up for that?
They can get the tickets on Quicket. Yeah, so they just type in The Love Show and they will find us on Quicket. And then they can purchase it. Please do purchase.
Well, there you go. Please purchase your tickets on Quicket. And of course, this is from South Africa with love. Now, the three of them, they're going to be performing on your Feel Good Breakfast show. So don't go anywhere.
Yeah, don't go anywhere. The action will continue. And speaking of action, I'm pretty much an action man when it comes to all the outdoor adventures that I do get involved in. I love to be outside. I love to be in my Speedo. I love to be diving. But I also love a good excuse to dress up, all right? So that's what we're doing right here today. And with Valentine's Day obviously being around the corner, the 14th of Feb, if you didn't know, here's a reminder, Mzansi. It's a great excuse to share a moment of magic with your loved ones, of course, and a good reason to dress up, right? So that's what I'm doing right here today, and I've chosen a little date night look, which I want to know what you, Mzansi, think about it. So Woolworths have come through with a perfect example. This is something I'd love to wear, and the center of my outfit is a pair of 100% cotton flat front, these are front navy chinos. They're designed for all-day comfort, but I love the fit of it as well. It's oversized, but you roll it up. It's got that new age kind of look to it and a feel. I can move, I'm comfortable, as you can see. Let me put this down just to show you how good it looks. And on top of that, just because it's so simple doesn't mean it doesn't elevate your look, because I've crafted it with something special. So I've added this easy care cotton blend of a stylish slim shirt t-shirt, right? Well, slim shirt. That's the one I've got on right now. Very subtle at the same time, but it really makes the look that much better. And it's an ever-trendy high-top sneaker that you can pair with this. I've paired it with a low-top sneaker. It does the exact same thing, has a great effect to it, and it kind of just makes me feel comfortable. All of that has been added together with this trucker denim jacket from Levi's, which I think kind of complements the look, makes it look a little bit smart, a little bit casual, but more importantly, I feel comfortable. But at the same time, this look definitely feels like it has elevated my mood, and it can do exactly the same for you too. So you want to dress up every day with Woolworths? You can do that right now. Shop this look and more at Woolworths. It's available in store, online and on the app. And of course, let me know what you think of this one. I've never worn pants like this before, but I'm starting to feel the vibe. Let me know what you think on the socials. And yeah, date night is on its way.
Is as endless as you want it to be this getaway season with your Marriott Bonvoy Stay Longer on Us promotional offer. Get 20% or more off standard room rates when you stay 3 nights or longer at participating Marriott hotels across this magnificent land of ours. To find the participating Marriott hotels at your dream destination and just how good things get when you stay longer on us. Book now on emea.marriott.com.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, everybody. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show on S3. Happy Monday to all of you. Of course, we are super excited for a brand new, unique show this coming Valentine's weekend. From South Africa with Love is the name of the concert, featuring some of our very best local talents, including Lauren Lee, Don Vino, and Maritza, who is joining us now in studio to perform for us. Here is Toverkens. Take it away.
Soos riviere wat vloei deur die storms van my hart, dra ek jou oor die klippe, deur al die pyn en smart. Ek staar na ons foto, ons oë kyk na mekaar, jou glimlag so vol vreugde, en die towerkuns word waar. Onderdraai die storms, maar oor die wolke skyn die son. Nou sweef ons in die lug, saam in 'n lugballon. Daar is niks wat ons meer terughou. Daar is niks wat voor ons staan. Jy lig my op en jy gee my krag, en die towerkuns gaan aan. Ek het sonder jou geleef, die seer het my laat voel, dat ek en jy en die towerkuns was vir mekaar bedoel. Onder ons sien ek die storms, die see se strome sterk. Ek droom van nog 'n reënboog, dis die towerkuns wat werk. Onderdraai die storms, maar oor die wolke skyn die son. Nou sweef ons in die lug, saam in 'n lugballon. Daar is niks wat ons meer terughou. Daar is niks wat voor ons staan. Jy lig my op en jy gee my krag, en die towerkuns gaan aan. Jy lig my op en jy gee my krag, en die towerkuns gaan aan. En die towerkuns gaan aan. En die towerkuns gaan aan.
Maritza here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, everybody. This is just a taste of what you can expect from South Africa with Love happening on the Valentine's weekend. Get your tickets at quicket.co.za, but she'll also be performing alongside Lauren Lee and Don Vino, and they're going to be performing for you a little bit later on. But right now, Zoe is standing by with those news headlines.
Thank you, Jamie Lee Domberg. The Western Cape government has approved a memorandum of understanding between the province and the United States state of California for the agriculture sector. The agreement will see the province collaborate with California on key projects in the sector. Premier Alan Winde says there will be numerous trade and investment opportunities, including technology, the green economy, and tourism. The Western Cape province and the state of California are two of the few regions in the world sharing a similar Mediterranean climate. And the Cape Town City Hall will be officially handed over to Parliament's presidential, in fact, presiding officers today for the presentation of the State of the Nation address next month. The city's mayor, Jordan Hill-Lewis, will officiate. Hill-Lewis made the City Hall available to Parliament after the devastating fire that destroyed parts of it on January the 2nd. The City Hall is expected to be declared a parliamentary area for the State of the Nation address on February 10th. And now moving to news abroad, South Korea's National Security Council has held an emergency meeting after North Korea conducted its largest missile test since 2017 early yesterday morning. The ballistic medium-range missile was fired from North Korea's coast just before 8 in the morning. The missile reached an altitude of 2,000 kilometers and moved over a distance of 800 kilometers into the Sea of Japan. South Korea, Japan, and the United States have condemned the firing of the missile. This was North Korea's 7th missile test since the beginning of the month. And Kenya has boosted security after France and Germany warned of the risk of possible terror attacks targeting Westerners, particularly in the capital, Nairobi. Now, heavily armed police officers were patrolling the streets of Nairobi, and security was boosted outside key government offices, five-star hotels, private buildings, and shopping malls. Kenyans have been urged to remain calm and share any information of suspicious activity with the police. And one mostly associates the NSRI with saving the lives of human beings, but some days ago, its duty crew at Port Nolloth received an urgent, unusual request. Horses were trapped on a small island in the raging Orange River in the Richterveld, close to Alexander Bay. Now, the situation was desperate as the swollen river was rising by the minute. Of great concern was one of the horses was tethered and could not be able to break free if the flood waters submerged the island. However, the NSRI's Port Nolloth crew and rescue swimmers swiftly swung into action and raced to the island. NSRI rescue swimmers, the horses' owners and bystanders waded the horses through the flowing water some 1.5 meters deep over a distance of 600 meters to a larger island, while all the time calming the horses in the swift-flowing, swirling water. Other livestock, cattle and horses were already on the larger island and out of danger. Well, we certainly salute those who've done the best and we thank them for their service. Well, that's where I leave your morning headlines. Here's another look at your sport.
Thank you so much, Zoe. Time to take a look at sport this morning. And in rugby news, it's time to celebrate if you're South African, because the Blitzboks have equaled the second best all-time winning streak in HSBC World 7 Series history as they downed Australia 33-7 to win the Seville Sevens on Sunday night. Now the team equaled the 2001-2002 New Zealand winning streak of 34 straight wins as they took their 4th title out of 4 on this year's series and 6th in a row during the pandemic to totally dominate the sport. Now, Christy Grobler was a deserved man of the match for his brace of tries, while Ryan Oosthuizen as well as Darren Donis also got on the score sheet. The next tournament is in Singapore in April, and we're wishing them nothing but the luck that has been carrying on throughout this tournament, and a win, of course, indeed, to carry on that record. But moving over to soccer news, and in the African Cup of Nations, Senegal marched on to the semi-finals of the Africa Cup of Nations after seeing off a spirited Equatorial Guinea side with a 3-1 victory in their last 8 tie. Now, Famada Didao, Chekau Kayata, and Ismaila Sarr getting on the score sheet are also going to be playing Burkina Faso on Wednesday after they beat Tunisia 1-0 in their quarterfinals on Saturday. Now, Egypt also set up a mouth-watering clash against the host Cameroon after the Pharaohs beat Morocco 2-1 in extra time. Now, Mo Salah equalized to take the game beyond the 90 minutes, with Trezeguet netting the winner. Now, Cameroon await on Thursday after they overcame Gambia 2-0. Now, sticking to soccer news and moving abroad to the to Europe, where Man United's footballer Mason Greenwood has been arrested on suspicion of rape and assault following allegations on social media. Now, the Greater Manchester Police said it was made aware of social media images and videos posted by a woman reporting incidents of physical violence. Now, in another quote, he added, "We can confirm a man in his 20s has since been arrested on suspicion of rape and assault," unquote. Now, he remains in custody for questioning and inquiries are ongoing. Man United earlier said the player would not return to training or matches until further notice. And now we spoke about it earlier today. Let's talk about it once again. Tennis's Rafael Nadal roared back from 2 sets down to win a titanic 5-set duel with Daniil Medvedev and claimed a record 21st Grand Slam men's title in the Australian Open final. Now, the Spanish great looked dead and buried as the Russian world number 2 carved out a 2-set lead. But Nadal surged home for one of his mightiest comeback wins. 2-6, 6-7, 6-4, 6-4, and 6-4 in that final game, which concluded a 5-hour, 24-minute tie on Rod Laver Arena. What a match indeed. Now, the win moves him ahead of era rivals Novak Djokovic as well as Roger Federer on the all-time list of men's major winners. Now, Ashley Barty also became the first Australian woman to win a home Grand Slam in 44 years after beating Daniela Collins 6-3 and 6-7. Now, the world number 1 winning her 3rd Grand Slam to add to a French Open success in 2019 as well as a Wimbledon triumph last year. Well, that's all the sport news that we have for right now. It's time to take another look at the weather. Here's Jamie Lee to plug us in on all the fire.
Thank you so much, Mr. Demone, for that sports update. Some concerning news on the weather front is that much of the east coast of the U.S. was covered in a thick blanket of snow yesterday, with several areas reporting record snowfall totals. Across the northeast, roughly 16 million people were under some type of winter weather warning yesterday, with snow continuing into last night. Parts of eastern Massachusetts, Long Island, as well as Rhode Island saw more than 60 centimeters of snow. The town of Sharon in Massachusetts as well recorded a staggering 927 centimeters of snowfall. The storm became a bomb cyclone on Saturday morning, meaning it strengthened rapidly and had the barometric pressure drop more than 24 millibars within 24 hours. Now, some 3,600 flights into or out of the U.S. were cancelled on Saturday and more than 1,500 yesterday. The U.S. National Weather Service predicts the storm will subside from today. And then back on our own shores where things are just a little warmer, we of course look to the skies as we showcase more of the great stunning sunrise views shared by you, our Expresso viewers. Now, Samuel B. Jacobs II from Beaufort West kicks off our 7 a.m. update with a bit of a different view, still an ever so lovely shot overlooking the Springfontein Dam. Take a look at that, nature at its finest. Then Paxton Gwynn sent through this beautiful photo, capturing the morning sky looking like a painting filled with hues of soft pinks and yellows, starting our Monday on the right notes. Right now, here is a second look at the temperatures for today. If you do find yourself in Polokwane, do expect a low of 15. That will peak at 27. Mbombela, for you, your range is 20 to 27. Pretoria as well can expect a minimum of 17 and a maximum of 26. Johannesburg, City of Gold, thunder showers are coming your way with a low of 16 and a high of 24. And then Mahikeng can be seen with a range of 17 to 27. Klerksdorp, for you as well, your minimum is 15 with a maximum of 26. Kimberley, thunder showers coming your way on this Monday, ranging from 20 to 24. Bloemfontein as well can be seen with a low of 17 and a high of 25, as well as Richards Bay, partly cloudy conditions are expected with a minimum of 22 and a maximum of 33. Pietermaritzburg, for you, it is 18-31. South Africa's playground Durban ranges from 24 to 30 today. Mthatha as well can be seen with a low of 18 and a high of 32. And then if you do find yourself in East London today, do expect a range of 22 to 29. Cradock as well, 19-32. Gqeberha, for you, it is 20-27. George can be seen with a low of 20 and a high of 26. And of course, the mother city, Cape Town, do expect a low of 20 and a high of 28. Worcester, for you, it is 22-36. Sutherland, 16-28. And then last but definitely not least, thunder showers coming your way today, Uppington, with a range of 21 to 29. Wherever you find yourself on this Monday, make sure it is a feel-good kind of day indeed.
Feeling like a good day indeed. It's only Monday, but yet I feel like I have all the energy of the week right inside of me, and I hope you do too. And this is
give me some of that energy,
take it,
please,
take it. You can have it too. You can have it. Everybody can have some of it. And of course, more reason to celebrate is the fact that Jan is almost over, so worry no more. January is gone. Feb is coming up this week, so?
That's right.
You looking forward to anything this week?
I have, you know what, it was quite a busy weekend, so I'm kind of looking forward to just like calm down, reset, and I'm going to use the week to do that. But of course, we also asked you, what are you looking forward to for the new week ahead? And this is what you had to say on social media.
Let's check it out. Nhlanhla Mtungwa says, I'm looking forward to a great show and sticking to my healthy diet. Hey, good on you, man. Keep that diet going and flowing.
Francis says, I want to win in the competitions. That's what I'm looking forward to. Ooh, well, Francis, I hope you've entered.
Yeah, get inching, man. There's no other way to win other than inching. And then Tibu Touch Ntente says, what I am looking forward to this week is your show, guys. I love watching it every morning. Oh, well, you're making us smile, and I hope that we are serving you with everything that you look forward to this Monday morning. We've got some more comments. Teresa, Micah, good morning, fam. What could be better than the Expresso show? I'm always looking forward to your morning breakfast show. Glued to my screen already. I love you, fam. We love your show. Well, we love you.
I'm loving this. Gary Orkamp, one of our regulars, says, changing my gym routine due to muscle memory. Oh, well, there we go. That's going to be a new challenge.
Nice.
And Linda says, I'm looking forward to winning competitions.
I like that. I'm looking forward to making winners on the show this week. I want to make everybody a winner. So that's a reminder to you, Mzansi. Get involved in our competitions. Come through on our social media channels. Chat to us. Use all the relevant hashtags. Your terms and conditions can be found on expressoshow.com. And what else is there other than good luck?
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso on S3. And this past 20th of January, a brand new centre for children with special needs, the Good Hope Daycare Centre in Mbukweni, Nepal, opened its doors to 20 vulnerable children who now have the opportunities to reach for their full potential in a bigger and better environment. But it all started out as a centre manager, Koliswa Mjezu's home 7 years ago, and she's joining us this morning on the couch alongside the CEO of its social investment managing partner, Valke Ivan Swartz, joining us to share more about this truly, beautiful partnership and, of course, the story behind setting it all up and how it started. Good morning and welcome.
Morning, sir.
How are we doing this morning?
Doing well.
Very good. You guys are doing something incredible, firstly. And just like we spoke about 7 years ago, something incredible happened. But I want to talk to you exactly about this center that you've created. Why exactly did you open it up? How did you get to the point of opening it up, running it so successfully? And where exactly did the story initially even spark for you?
I realized that this was not my only problem. I was not the only one. I was not the only one who's experiencing this difficult situation. It was heartbreaking to see that so many parents of children who are living with special needs were struggling to find a place to go. So I decided to help
I had to help. It was my calling.
Okay. And your daughter, she has autism. Is that when you realized, there's no centers or facilities available to help you in your area?
After I've been struggling to get a place for her, so I've seen so many parents struggling, as I already mentioned. Then I decided to start the center after my daughter was diagnosed with autism.
Okay. And Ivan, I want to know from you, this is a beautiful partnership. How did you hear about Xoliswa's story, about her efforts and the center that she created that started in her home?
Yes, so Valcare's got around 250 non-profit partners, but not everyone is as, I'm allowed to say, as special. But I realized that, when I walked and did a site visit, when I met Xoliswa the first day, it was extremely moving. I remember walking out of the house, crying so much that it was a bit uncomfortable. And I realized that by any definition, the most vulnerable person in the world is a disabled child in a vulnerable community. And and if you visit the school hopefully soon, you will be able to just realize how incredible this woman is. So, she's inspired us for a number of years now, so it was really not a difficult decision to make.
Not a difficult decision, but it's a hard one to execute, right? Because you've started a school, you've started something that's serving an incredible purpose, but you need funding for that, you need support for that, you need to set that up. Ivan, maybe I can ask you, how did you get through that mammoth task of fundraising, essentially, to get this facility in the center to where it is today and to execute on that? I mean, it's a mammoth task, like you said, and it's not always such an easy thing to do, but yet, here we are.
Here we are. So, the word collaboration gets thrown around quite a bit, but we had 8 different funders on various amounts. We had 12 local service providers being part, 21 local people being employed. So the only way to do something like this is by working together. There's literally no other way. And we've been very privileged to be able to manage funds for big corporates and families and so on. And, it's just an amazing privilege to be able to make sure that it gets stewarded well.
It's incredible. It's like this communal effort for a really great cause. I think if life was like this, how beautiful a place would it be?
Well, Xoliswa, I want to know from you, the Good Hope Daycare Center, which children are there? What does the center offer the children?
We offer service to different disabilities. We cater for different disabilities. We have cerebral palsy, those who are intellectual and physical disabled, and autistic group, and also for those who they've been in mainstream schools before. Some of them, they went to they couldn't get a place to special schools, so we cater for them, and we prepare them to be able to help themselves when they leave the center at the end of the day.
Okay.
Incredible stuff. Now, the center itself is doing exceptionally well. I'm hearing from South Africa and the greater South Africa that it's been received with absolute positivity. For you both, must be a good feeling, right? But the work doesn't stop. It seems like this is something that is a lifetime passion for you. How would you like to grow this? Could we potentially see some more centers maybe opening up? Could we expand on the centers and their offering? Where would you like to see this in the future?
My long-term goal for this initiative is to expand it to become a residential facility.
Nice.
Because the most sad part of the story, it's when we are no longer there as parents of disabled children. The people who left, they are not capable enough to take care of these special children. So it's much better when there is a safety home for them, where they stay there.
Oh, I love that.
Amazing.
Absolutely love it.
Well, Xoliswa, it was lovely having you here and to see your passion and to see what you're doing for the greater community. Ivan, it's wonderful to see how you guys are supporting this and making sure that more kids can get the help that they need. And you can follow the Good Hope Daycare Center on Facebook. And what outstanding results from the work from the community. It has really been incredible to see. Now, as Xoliswa has said, they can only go forward from here. Now, keep updated with the happenings of the Good Hope Daycare Center, and you can follow them on Facebook.
Well, you're still keeping it locked here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and it's time for you to ace your back to varsity preparations with deals and savings on stationery, sport items, food, clothing, and so much more from Game Stores. As they focus on the newness for the 22-ness, they're bringing you all you need for your back to varsity experience. Now, student Akila Suleiman is joining us via video call this morning to give us the lowdown on all of your study essentials. Welcome, Akila. How are you doing?
I'm good, and yourself?
I'm very good. I know it's your first year, so you must be so excited to get into varsity prep. And I mean, as varsity students prepare to go back to campus, whether online, how do you think you and your peers will be approaching this brand new year?
Okay, so it's my first year, so I'm going into this blind, literally. So I think I've spoken to my friends who've done like online last year, and they sort of lost the balance because they're at home all day, and their day sort of gets away from them because they think they're at home, they have the most time to do everything, and they just didn't have the balance. So I'm working on the balance really that I want to do this year. Like, my at home is my at home, but then my varsity is my varsity.
I love that you have a tribe that you can speak to and reach out to find that balance, because that is really so important when going into varsity.
Yeah.
I mean, from studying to dancing and also managing your time with your family and your friends. You've got a lot on your plate as students. How do you think you'll keep the balance between school and your social life?
Okay, so for me, if I set a time, so if I have my first class at 9 o'clock, for example, I would rather have all of my notes prepared before 9 o'clock so that I know I start at 9 with my varsity. I'm not still prepping at 9 o'clock, getting my things ready so I can finish on time and then have my social life.
What a good plan to have. I hope that you actually stick to it, be committed to the course, because it really can get so overwhelming. And then, of course, Akila, I have to ask you, as part of Games Back to campaign, you're taking on a brand new activity. Tell us what activity you'll be taking on this year and why it's so important for you to achieve this for this year.
So I would really try to sort of get out in nature more often, so maybe hiking, going on picnics, traveling, because I mean, you're in your room all day. If you see your desk with all of your varsity work, you're sort of not getting a break from that actually. So I would really like to take up more hiking so that I can actually like refresh my brain, get out in nature, breathe a bit. So yeah, I would really love to start with that.
For sure. Listen, if you're ever in Cape Town, hit me up. I have some cool hiking trails I can show you and introduce you to. I love hiking. I started it last year, so we can be hiking buddies, okay?
Thank you. I'm so excited.
Okay, and then what back to varsity item will you be purchasing for this activity, and how exactly do you think it will help you achieve these goals that you set out for this year?
I was thinking about the printer. In high school, I was always dependent on the school's printer or going to the printing shop to print out my things because I can't study from a cell phone. I mean, you're getting your Instagram notifications, you're getting your WhatsApp notifications. So I need hard copies of things. Even with my campaigns, I struggle if it's on the phone. So definitely a printer will make my life much easier.
You definitely are like me. I'm a visual person. I need something like hard material in my hand. Akila, sounds like you have a plan. Good luck for this year. Back to varsity, the first time, your first year, enjoy it, make the most memories. And the best thing is that if we take pictures on our hike, you can also print it out and you can put it on your little notebook or on your fridge, whatever, okay?
Exactly.
Have a wonderful day further, and thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you, thank you.
Well, of course, Game is giving you the chance to win a 1,000 Rand shopping voucher. Now, to enter, all you have to do is tell us what back to varsity item you'd like to get from Game Stores for your New Year activity, and also why. Now, remember to include the hashtag #GotGame to enter. And remember, those T's and C's can be found on our website, expressoshow.com. The competition will run until Monday, the 7th of February, 2022, midnight. But Mzansi, don't forget that you can also compare prices with the Price Beat Promise, which offers a 10% refund on the difference in price on any item that you've purchased. Now, if you find it cheaper at a competitor within 21 days of your purchase, you are guaranteed a price beat on that item. How cool is that? And of course, with store opening hours Monday to Friday from 9 to 6, Saturday from 9 to 5, and Sunday and public holidays from 9 to 4. What are you waiting for? Go get shopping for this brand new year.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, welcome back, you beautiful souls. It's your Feel Good Breakfast Show opening up right here on S3 and diving into absolute quality conversation, and especially with regards to a little bit earlier where we learned about a daycare center looking after children with special needs. But now we're changing that focus. On the other end of the spectrum, the elderly, and in particular the problem of loneliness that many people face as they approach their twilight years.
And you know this, you know that we love a good story about someone turning their life around. And we're joined this morning by Greg Mitchley, the bad boy gone good, who founded the Greg Mitchley Foundation to combat elder loneliness. And to find out more about his motivating story and work, he's here this morning to share more about that. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, good morning.
How are you doing?
Geez, I woke up a bit early. I couldn't find my middle path. How you doing?
I'm glad you went without me because you're shining bright this morning, man. You're looking
Thank you,
good.
man. Appreciate
But Greg, let's dive straight into it. We don't have a lot of time. I want to hear about your story because it sounds incredible. It's inspiring. You were on somewhat of a different walk in life before things turned around. What was happening and what incited that change, man?
Yeah, geez, if I had to sum it up quickly, my life was extremely unpredictable, crazy, wild. Put it this way, I always seemed to select or choose the wrong road, the wrong path, you know. But then I believe there comes a time in your life where you've got to stop, look yourself in the mirror and be brutally honest and just say to yourself, you know, what am I doing? Where am I going? Are you really happy with what you see? And you've got to call a spade and say, no, you've got to make a change now. And that's what happened pretty much. And then the history, it's all in history now.
I usually call that the come to Jesus moment, where, you know, you have to really like reflect and take time to say, you know, what is my purpose? Where am I going with this? And that is kind of the moment that you had in 2017. You know, your father had passed on. He was living his last days in a nursing home. And that really sparked where you said, you know what, I want to give back. I want to see to the elderly and really combat loneliness. Tell us about that.
Yeah, geez, it's, people talk about stress as the #1 killer. I think loneliness is, to be cooped up in 4 walls, I think it's a sad story. Just to add to that, when I went up visit one of my dads in one of his elderly homes, I was waiting for the manager while they were busy just sorting my dad out, fixing him and dressing him and stuff, and I saw a door open down the corridor. So I thought, let me just go and pop my head in there. I got inside, started speaking to this elderly lady, just asked her questions, something like simple, like, what's your favorite TV program? What's your favorite food? Just natural questions. And she was like, just staring at me. So I had to go, I get her alive. I said, are you there? She goes, yeah, I am. I just appreciate your time. But here's the big part, where she started telling me about, like, January has 31 days, March has this, and June has 30 days, and I couldn't. And then the manager came. So I gave her a hug. I went goodbye, said goodbye. I said to the manager, like, why does she know all those dates? And she said to me, when she was 70, her family dropped her off. She's now 86, and she hasn't heard. She makes sure there's a payment being made so that you can stay there for the next month. And that's been going on for 16 years. She doesn't know where her family, where her daughters, she's got grandchildren. 16 years, she's been on her own, and she doesn't have a clue who or what's happening out there. So I think that was a huge thing for me where I said...
man, I mean, that's enough to kind of get anybody off the couch and trying to do something, but for you, it did something more important. It got you to start the Greg Mitchley Foundation, right?
100%.
I love what you're talking about because it's a constant conversation I'm having about, we spend so much time in our lives acquiring things, material possessions, and we have all these things like money and fame and all this stuff that we chase, but at the end of the day, what is it if you can't share it with anyone and you're sitting there all alone? This incited you to a point where you're doing something special with your foundation. What exactly is it though? Because you're combating loneliness, you're combating these issues that you've just mentioned now, but more than that, you're providing like quality engagement, you're speaking a love language for so many people that have kind of been abandoned and neglected, right?
100%. Let me tell you something. So I believe that everyone's got a gift. And that moment, I looked myself in the mirror, I've always known this gift of mine. And you either take an opportunity, which I was given to from a good friend in the name of Alistair McDonald. He said to me, come and do what you do, what you love. And I believe everything you do in life, you've got to do it with passion.
Yes.
If I eat a hamburger, I eat that thing with passion. So to sit with an elderly lady with a biscuit and have a conversation. Like you said, you don't need to have millions. You don't need to have big cars and fancy this and that to have a conversation. That is for free. Kindness is for free. My motto is kindness in action. That's my GMF. That's the Greg Mitchley Foundation motto. And
kindness in action.
Kindness in action.
Love that,
so I believe you ask yourself, are you a doer or are you a talker? and I'm hope to believe I'm a doer. So what I say I must do. I'm a visionary kind of guy, so I picture things. People that say I can't, I'll do. If they tell me to go left, I'm going to go right. I'm just one of those guys. I take a lot of risks. But yeah, I've got a good support structure around me, which is important, your family and your close friends. Follow your heart, and I think I can tell you what, anyone can do whatever they dream of.
Greg, you are so inspiring. Your story this morning has just like sent goosebumps. I'm sure, like, I'm trying to hold back the tears here, but how do people get involved in doing something that you are doing with your foundation, and just maybe just to support you and your tribe while you're doing the work out there?
So how I can say this is, I think people that are in a good position or a nice position to have own restaurants, things like that, in the flight industry or something like that, where they can have elderly. So what I do is I take a lot of elderlies to, and I pamper them. So I get friends who have like nail beautician shops, or they do hair. Not mine, I'll do perm. But so what we'll do is we'll get together. I'll take my team in there and we'll pamper them. We'll do their nails. We'll do their hair, and you won't believe the expressions you get there. It's incredible. So I think those who are in a position that can afford to maybe make cash donations. I've got my website. It's www.gmf.co.za. That's what I want to do. People can see what I'm doing with it. I can't hide. And like I said, I'm a doer, so I like to put it out there and get things going.
All right, Greg, well, thank you so much for inspiring us and the Mzansi to do as well. We can't thank you enough for your soul, your presence, and your energy, what it's doing for us. Of course, you can get him online, the Mitchley Foundation. Otherwise, check out the website, gmf.co.za. Get involved, do something special, and of course, send all that energy to a loved one that needs it, because you don't know how much effect you have in this world.
Well, we're certainly going to keep the inspiring stories going, and we're also excited to meet the heroes behind the All Hearts Foundation Wolf Sanctuary in Hartbeespoort, Northwest Province. Now, they are the voice for the voiceless, and let's take a look.
Some animals need us to step in and assist with rescuing them because they're not always able to care for themselves. And especially with the wolves, a lot of people have gotten these animals as pets, which then makes them extremely dependent, which is something we call imprintation, especially with wild animals. This is when an animal, a wild animal specifically, becomes extremely dependent on a human to feed them, provide them with everything that they need, not just dietary requirements, shelter, a safe environment. And then that's where we come into play, because these animals would never be able to be released into the wild, in turn never being able to hunt, etc., and live that complete natural life. So that's where we come in to assist them and just providing them with a natural environment that is as close to what they could possibly be offered.
So some of the key goals and visions for us is to implement more stricter rules within our nature conservation guidelines, because they don't have that. They don't, because they're exotic, they're not indigenous to South Africa. So one of our key goals is to try and change that, where you can't just have a wolf as a pet, because they're not pets. So one of the challenges we find is feeding wolves, right? They've got to have a substantial diet. They've got to eat their right dietary requirements. They can't be living on dog kibble. They need to eat raw. We feed out here at All Hearts Foundation, we feed out full birds, full chickens, which is good for their calcium within the feathers. They get all the other nutrients and stuff from the organs within the bird. We feed out beef. So that is one thing that we do find is a very key point on looking after these animals, is their diet requirements.
So these wolves all have different personalities, just like us. We're not all the same. So each one has a very unique personality. Some of them are timid, some of them are shy, some of them are friendly, some of them are aggressive. So not just specific personality types for every single wolf. So the broader work that our non-profit organization does is quite vast. We basically look after everything with a beating heart. We don't just look after the wolves, we look after many animals. We look after the elderly. We do community outreaches. We go and we clothe and feed the homeless and assist wherever we can. So we have taken in some trauma cases. So a trauma case is basically an animal that has been subjected to extreme abuse. or neglect. We have a small little dog here called Shimbungu. He was basically either severely abused or injured by a vehicle in Namibia. He had his ears cut off. Then we have another dog here called Spirit. He's an Alaskan Malamute. He was tied up and thrown into a river in Chartwell Fourways 6 years ago, bound by his front and back legs. So his rehabilitation as well as Shimbungu's is something that's ongoing, but both animals are thriving, they're happy, they're existing, they're surviving. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's about enriching the animals' lives, offering all of our animals, including the wolves, the 5 freedoms of animal welfare, and just ensuring that they're provided with the safety, security, and love that they need.
My most important is we just want them to be safe from where we've rescued them from and try and continue the great work we do when it comes to education. And so that is our main thing, is just keeping them safe and teaching people about the species, and just trying to do more than what we do at this present time. I'm very passionate working with Lex. We're a good team together. We strive for the same goals. Education is one of the main things we do, is educate public on the species being the wolf. We really enjoy it. So I find myself and Lexi are a good team asset to each other, and then also our other teammates, which is our staff. They play a big role here. So yeah, as a team, we're great. We're doing good things.
So our future and vision is trying to secure the property that we're on currently now. That is the most important thing in order to keep our sanctuary going for our animals first and foremost. And then that allows us to expand more, take in more rescues, take in more wolves, be able to build more, be able to get up our volunteer program where we built the correct accommodation for our volunteers to come in and help us, to start being able to have people working hands-on with us, educating the public, spreading the word, and then to become part of rehabilitation projects done the right way. The public can show their support for All Arts Foundation by going to www.allartsfoundation.co.za. There they will be linked to all of our social media forums, and they'll be guided on how they can help from there.
Oh, what beautiful and majestic animals, and what a passionate and skilled group of individuals looking after everything with a beating heart. Well, be sure to lend your support to visit this worthy cause by visiting their website and checking out their social pages.
Always sleep on it before you buy it. Do you want a bank that takes your money, or a bank that takes your money choices seriously? Join Nedbank today.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
welcome back to Expresso. It is your feel-good breakfast show. We are back with some of the hottest news from this past weekend. Now, on Saturday, Raul and myself attended the 2022 Cape Town Met, hosted at the Kenilworth Racetrack here on Cape Town soil. It was spectacular. We're still speaking about it. We're actually still speaking about it.
The hype is still real. We're still sending some of it through from the weekend, and it was an absolutely incredible event to be celebrated in its usual sophisticated hospitality, showcasing some of the very best when it comes to high-end fashion.
Well, we got all the lowdown for you. The official theme of this year's event was Glam Garden, and let me tell you, the people came through. They did not disappoint at all. They were serving looks for you for it.
Everybody understood the assignment and definitely the dress code. And of course, we are bringing you some of the best glammed up looks from this past weekend. Jamie, shall we get into it?
I think you should start. I think you should definitely start with this one because I know there's been so many, but these are just a few of the looks that we've thought, really understood the assignment.
I must just say, I hadn't been to the Met in so many years. Wow. Just my eyes were just everywhere at these incredible looks. Kicking us off, we had Mamao Sisanye, KFM radio host and TV presenter. Now, she was Glam Garden ready, wearing an absolutely beautiful floral dress from Jacques Lagrange Couture. The dress was featured, and it also featured a high slit, and she finished it off with this absolutely beautiful, beautiful look. Oh, come on, look at that.
Stunning. She obviously had a nice little stallion also to accompany her for this Met, but just beautiful, certainly ticking off all the boxes. But then we have to talk about the queen herself. Miss Nadia Jafta, she slayed, looked absolutely breathtaking in a corset bodice midi dress from Alusu Fashion, if I'm not mistaken. But she also finished off her look with a bit of a feather headpiece from Emily Exotic. Nadia Jafta, beautiful.
I like it.
Beautiful.
I love the fact that she's got this little floral feather arrangement. It's very fitting of a queen, a young Pocahontas out there, nailing the assignment. Indeed, Nadia, well played. Well played. So Brandon Reynolds also came through, really understood the theme Glam Garden indeed. Now, he was named Best Dressed Man at the Met. Indeed, a congratulations goes out to him, and he stood out in a head-to-toe floral suit with the matching shirt. Now, this is definitely a look that will be remembered for a very long time, my friend. Well played.
And a big moment for him and his family as well, because their horse won as well. Comedy came through, so yeah, big day for the Reynolds family as well. Then this brings us to Trish Vermeulen, former Mrs. South Africa finalist. She was named Best Dressed Female, wearing a stunning floral dress from her cupboards and a United de Toit headpiece. Just wow. Can we just, everybody? Like, let's finish it right there.
Absolutely slayed. But it doesn't stop there. Afternoon Express presenter, our familiar friend, Palesa Temba, looked like an absolute goddess in this blue Lauren R. Couture dress, featuring some gold sequins just to add the pizzazz that was needed. Look how good she looks.
I'm not being biased, but Pali slayed. I also love that she used, like, she wore a natural crown for this day. She was comfortable. I saw her up close in person. I'm like, what? But as always, Pali just comes, she shows up, and she's like, I own this. I own this place.
Another one.
She looked so beautiful. Then, of course, we also had fashion designer Craig Jacobs, who turned heads wearing a suit from his own fashion label called Fundudzi by Craig Jacobs. Man, oh man, oh man. Like, I always thought, like, floral on floral was going to be a bit too much, and I'm not sure if that's like a no-no.
It always was like kind of a no-no until this year. The game's completely changed. I mean, the likes of Brandon, of course, and Craig. I need to message you guys because I need to get into the suit game. Clearly, I am holding back on what is the potential when it comes to gent suits, but well done.
Yeah, it's all about elevating. Okay, so I have to be very honest with all the looks that I saw at the Met. It has to be Nadia Jafta. I think for me, there was just something simplistic about a dress. Also, if you've ever been to the Met, it is hot, everybody. So you need to dress for comfort. You also have to be in a flowy state. I think the headpiece looked beautiful. I would have loved to see her just maybe take the hair back because she has a beautiful face, but also her body. She trains insane. She looks like a goddess. So best dress for me from the females, or just overall, was definitely Nadia Jafta. What about you?
I'm definitely going to agree with that. Nadia did step it up. I loved everybody's look, of course, but I think she brought something more unique, something a bit more original, apart from all those lavish dresses that we did see. But for me, I think it's when it comes to the gents, between Craig and Brandon, I don't know, I can't really figure it out. I'm loving the floral arrangements that are coming through in the suits right now. Craig, very, very close, but I think Brandon definitely did deserve that title this year. I think it was just the elegant combination of color, a beautiful pop of pink and that yellow as well, which just kind of worked for him. Man's looked good.
Kom met die suit. Well, I wish we had more time to unpack more of our favorite looks, as the fashion was definitely one of the highlights, but we have to go back next year. We have to go back next year.
Have to do it. Now, there you have have it. Guys, if you enjoyed this fashion from this year's Cape Town Met as much as we did, then stay tuned for more from your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Well, listen, we need to get Ryle in head-to-toe floral since he loves that suit so much. Can't wait to see him in that. But something I can't wait for you is to also hear our very next performance. Now, she is a mezzo-soprano singer, Lauren Lee. She is here with us, and she is one of the local artists who will be performing in the up-and-coming From South Africa with Love concert that's taking place on the 11th of February, teaming up with extraordinary UK talent, including Britain's Got Talent alum Faith Tucker. But before then, here to give you a taste of what to expect. If you love The Greatest Showman, you're going to love the song even more. Here's Lauren Lee with Never Enough Time.
I'm trying to hold my breath, let it stay this way. Can't let this moment end. You set off a dream in me, getting louder now. Can you hear it echoing? Take my hand, will you share this with me? 'Cause darling, without you, all the shine from 1,000 spotlights, all the stars we steal from the night sky will never be enough, never be enough. Towers of gold are still too little. This axe could hold the world, but it'll never be enough, never be enough for me. Never, 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 and never for me, for me. Never enough, never enough, never enough for me, for me, for me. All the shine of 1,000 spotlights, all the stars we steal from the night sky will never be enough, never be enough. Towers of gold are still too little. This axe could hold the world, but it'll never be enough, never be enough for me. And never, never, and never, never, and never for me, for me. And never enough, never enough, never enough for me, for me, for
Lauren Lee on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. I promised you she was going to deliver, and you absolutely did. That was beautiful. Make sure to catch her and a lot of other South Africans that will be performing on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. They will be in the From South Africa with Love concert that's going to be streamed. Tickets are available at Quicket, and it's taking place on February 11th, so you do not want to miss out on that. Get your tickets.
Thank you very much for staying with your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso. Now open up to some inspiring business interventions. Leave no man behind is the brand promise that Telkom has made. And every day, we bear witness to how they continue to live up to these big words in a big statement like this. And one initiative that really does encapsulate this promise so fundamentally is the Telkom Future Makers Initiative. Now launched in 2015, Telkom's goal has been to enable the development and the growth of qualifying black-owned businesses in the ICT sector by providing them with financial and non-financial support. Now, joining us this morning to tell us all about it and how you can get involved is Mathebe Jobo, Telkom's Executive for Future Makers. Mathebe, thank you very much for making the time.
Thank you. Thank you. It's such a pleasure to be here.
Mathebe, what is the main aim of the Telkom Future Makers Initiative and how did it all come about?
Telkom Future Makers is Telkom's enterprise and supply development unit, and it was launched in 2015 with the purpose of empowering Black-owned businesses that are in the ICT space. And really the objectives are to make sure that we partner with them by transforming our own supply chain. So therefore we provide access to market for these Black entrepreneurs in the tech space. But also we are interested in developing the technology sector as a whole. And so we've done a range of initiatives to work with enterprises in the technology sector that are potential future suppliers of Telkom and future partners that help us launch our products and services to the market. So yeah, that's basically why we were established, and that's the objective of Future Makers.
Well, since your launch in 2015, I believe that the initiative has seen and enjoyed such incredible success. What sort of interventions have you brought forward to those businesses that you've partnered with in this regard?
Yeah, so since 2015, we've worked with over 2,500 businesses, and we've literally seen them grow. Some of them were born out of restructurings within Telkom, and those are programs such as the Independent Field Technicians program. And literally in that program, we've seen businesses literally generate R1 billion worth of revenue collectively. And we've also seen businesses create about 27,000 plus indirect and direct jobs. Or in 2020, we launched the Township Innovation Incubator as well, which is for us to also bring economic inclusion and not just focus on enterprises that are in the metros, but to really think about enterprises that are in township areas as well.
Well, let's talk about the Township Innovation Incubator program, those beneficiaries and what the selection criteria has been. I believe that one obviously has to be the fact that they are township-based, but what other things and areas do you look at for consideration?
A key criteria was to look for businesses, or rather for entrepreneurs that have a very strong entrepreneurial inclination and that were solving real issues as well, using technology. You know, they are supposed to be solving things like water, education, issues, around crime, etc. And we were not necessarily looking for a readily available technology solution, because part of the intervention of the incubator was to be able to develop that solution with them using some of our software development resources internally.
What I do love about the initiative, Mathebe, is the fact that it's not just on scale, the number of businesses that you're able to reach out there, but I think the impact that you're able to impart in that environment has just been so incredible. I'm sure you'll agree.
Yeah, it has been incredible. In fact, we have an incredible team of, or rather a cohort of entrepreneurs that have been part of the 12-month incubator. And some of them have already been able to pilot some of their products with, the Department of Health, others with the City of Johannesburg. So an example of this would be an entrepreneur who started a company called Bophelo, which solves queues in public hospitals by essentially providing a pickup service for medication. And so essentially the startup has already been able to secure a POC with the Department of Health, and others have been able to solve issues around water, which we know is such an important aspect of our development, and I'm super proud of them.
And you should be proud of them, but also proud of yourselves for being able to take charge and step into that place and collaborate with these businesses. 2022 is an exciting one for a lot of business owners out there. When will the Township Incubator intake be announced for this year, and where can we get all the information about it?
So we're opening it up again for the first round of interviews in April this year. And it is a rigorous selection criteria. So we're looking for individuals, like I said, that are absolutely entrepreneurially minded, go-getters, innovators. So please do look out for applications as they open up. And we will be really reaching a significant number of townships this year. So last year we piloted only in Soweto, and we're very happy now to extend it and open it up to a lot more townships this year.
Thank you very much for having this chat with us, Matebe. This is so inspiring, and I know that it's going to make such a huge difference in the lives of so many entrepreneurs out there.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It was great to be here.
And that's it, the Future Makers Initiative. It supported more than 2,500 small, medium, and micro-sized enterprises by providing incubation, investment, connectivity, and business development support services to all of those businesses. And you could be one of those business owners to receive this invaluable support. To find out more about Future Makers, please do go onto the Telkom website. It's telkom.co.za/today/Future Makers. We'll also make the link available for you on our Expresso Facebook and Twitter pages. Good luck. Seize the moment.
When last have the three of us been together? Let's do it.
We will be able to roll this out pretty much immediately. I've got this.
You both better be on that plane tomorrow.
Our Monati keeps friendships flourishing with freebie SIM-only 6 gigs at $289 per month with loads of extras.
Seize the moment indeed. Well, the time now is 8 o'clock. Time to have a final look at those news headlines. Starting on the national front, motorists affected by the breakdown in the driving license card production machine will have to remain patient for a while before they know how long it will take before they receive their cards. Transport Minister Fikile Mbalula said the Driving License Card Authority offices in Pretoria had advised that the broken driving license card producing machine was fixed and back in operation. At the same time, Mbalula announced a further extension to the validity period of driving licenses that expired during the COVID-19 lockdowns to the end of March 2022. Then staying on the local front, the Western Cape government has approved a memorandum of understanding between the province and the United States state of California for the agriculture sector. The agreement will see the province collaborate with California on key projects in the sector. Premier Alan Winde says there will be numerous trade and investment opportunities, including technology, the green economy and tourism. The Western Cape province and the state of California are two of the few regions in the world sharing a similar Mediterranean climate. Then looking to news further abroad, Rwanda will reopen a border crossing with Uganda today that was shuttered nearly 3 years ago. This despite tensions rising between the Central African neighbors, fueled by accusation of espionage and support for each other's dissidents. Rwanda had repeatedly accused Uganda of supporting rebel groups planning to topple the government in Kigali, while Kampala accused Rwanda of carrying out illegal espionage activities in Uganda. In an earlier statement, Rwanda's foreign ministry confirmed that the country would reopen the common border today. And then South Korea's National Security Council has held an emergency meeting after North Korea conducted its largest missile test since 2017 early yesterday morning. The ballistic medium-range missile was fired from North Korea's east coast just before 8 yesterday morning. The missile reached an altitude of 2,000 kilometers and moved over a distance of 800 kilometers into the Sea of Japan. South Korea, Japan, and the United States have condemned the firing of these missiles, and this was North Korea's 7th missile test since the beginning of the month. And then our next story may just be the cutest of them all. Staff at the Johannesburg Wildlife Veterinary Hospital have come to the rescue of a wee dormouse which had been mauled by a cat. Now, the little fellow was given an absolutely minuscule arm sling after suffering a suspected shoulder injury. It's only suspected because due to the fact that he's so small, vets weren't able to obtain an X-ray image. Still, staff at the hospital patched him up and hope he'll soon recover enough to be released back into the wild. Now, vet nurse Jackie Spivey secured the arm in place with the tiniest bandage ever. Folks on social media, which has racked up over 2,700 likes so far, are absolutely smitten. One wrote, and I quote, "What a little treasure. Thank you for caring for all creatures, big or small. Stay strong, little one." Now, the Joburg Wildlife Veterinary Hospital treats indigenous animals free of charge, relying solely on the donations and support from the community. So if you can do your bit, definitely do so. And I'm sure the information is online right now. But that is where I leave your news headlines. Raul de Mornay is standing by with a final look at the sports.
Thank you so much, Jamie. Now for our final look at the sport, and obviously this weekend brought something to celebrate, especially for South African, and we're talking about rugby, where the Blitzbokke equaled the second best all-time winning streak in HSBC World 7 Series history as they downed Australia 33-7 to win the Seville Sevens on Sunday night. Now the team equaled the 2001-2002 New Zealand winning streak of 34 straight wins as they took their fourth title out of the 4 on this year's series and 6th in a row during the pandemic to totally dominate the sport. Now, Christy Krobler was a deserved man of the match for his brace of tries, while Ryan Oosthuizen and Darren Adonis also got on the score sheet. Now, the next tournament is set to take place in Singapore in April, and we wish them nothing but continued success as they endeavour to win another title. But now moving over to soccer news, and the African Cup of Nations saw Senegal marching to the semi-finals at the African Cup of Nations after seeing off a spirited Equatorial Guinea side with a 3-1 victory in their last 8 tie. Now, Famara Didiao, Chekau Kayata and Ismaila Sarr getting on the score sheet, and they will be playing Burkina Faso on Wednesday after they beat Tunisia 1-0 in their quarterfinal on Saturday. Now, Egypt also set up a mouth-watering clash against the host Cameroon after the Pharaohs beat Morocco 2-1 in extra time. Mo Salah equalizing to take the game beyond the 90 minutes, with Trezeguet netting the winner. Now, Cameroon await on Thursday after they overcame Gambia 2-0. And sticking to soccer news and moving over to Europe, Manchester United footballer Mason Greenwood has been arrested on suspicion of rape and assault following allegations on social media. Now, Greater Manchester Police said it was made aware of social media images and videos being posted by a woman reporting incidents of physical violence. Now, it also added and quoted, "We can confirm a man in his 20s has since been arrested on suspicion of rape and assault," unquote. Now, he remains in custody for questioning and inquiries which are ongoing, and Man United earlier said the player would not return to training or matches until further notice. And now from soccer news, we move abroad to the weekend's action when it comes to tennis, and Rafael Nadal roared back from 2 sets down to win a titanic 5-set duel with Daniil Medvedev and claim a record 21st Grand Slam men's title in the Australian Open final. Now the Spanish great looked dead and buried as the Russian world number 2 carved out a 2-set lead, but Nadal surged home for one of the mightiest comeback wins with a 2-6, 6-7, 6-4, 6-4 and 6-4 win in 5 hours and 24 minutes on Rod Laver Arena. Now, this win moves him ahead of the era rivals Novak Djokovic as well as Roger Federer on that all-time list of men's major winners. A big congratulations, and another one to Ashley Barty, who became the first Australian woman to win her home Grand Slam in 44 years after beating Daniela Collins 6-3 and 7-6. Now, the world number 1 winning her 3rd Grand Slam to add to her French Open success in 2019 and the Wimbledon triumph of last year. Well, that's a wrap on all the sport this morning. Of course, there's so much action to look forward to once again. We'll be back tomorrow with more of this news. But before we get into that, let's check out one last time what's happening with your world and weather.
Thank you, Raul. Well, a quick news update. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres says the deadly storm that hit southern Africa countries last week has shown the reality of the climate crisis, and it's a blunt reminder of the impact that climate change is having. He said more investment was needed to protect and save lives. The death toll from the destruction caused by Storm Anna has now risen to 84. In Madagascar, the death toll stands at 48. In Mozambique, 18 people have lost their lives, and in Malawi, 11. Meanwhile, authorities are now watching to see if a second storm will hit the continent this week. The system, which has formed over the Indian Ocean, is expected to move towards Reunion and possibly the island of Madagascar later this week. Up to 6 tropical cyclones are expected before the rainy season ends in March. And that's yet another harsh reminder to us all to play our part in reducing our daily carbon footprint to help reduce the impact on our environment. Our thoughts and prayers are with all of those who are in the affected areas. We certainly will be thinking of you. And next, we want to move on to our regular Sunrise contributors. We have some fresh views that we've been sharing with you as the new week starts. Lynn Ings Odges from Heidelberg shared this dark and silhouetted image showing off a red glow in the far distance as the sun begins to rise. And then Renee Lemmer from Glen Eden, Wild Coast, shared this photo of the cloudy morning sky over her area, showcasing the clouds being illuminated from behind the cloud cover by the sun. Then at 7 a.m. we shared Samuel B. Jacobs II from Beaufort West, who kicked us off with an update, and that was a little bit of a different view, still ever so lovely, a shot overlooking the Springfontein Dam. And then Paxton Gwen sent through this beautiful photo capturing the morning sky, looking like a painting filled with hues of soft pinks and yellows. Definitely something to add as a screensaver. Well, let's look at your temperatures one last time for today. If you're in Polokwane, a low of 15 can be expected and a high of 27. Mbombela 20, 27. Pretoria 17, 26. Johannesburg 16, reaching a high of 24. Mahikeng 17, 27. Klerksdorp 15, reaching a high of 26. Kimberley 20 with a high of 24. Bloemfontein 17, 25. Richards Bay 22, reaching a high of 33. If you're in Pietermaritzburg, a low of 18 can be expected and a high of 31. Durban 24, reaching a high of 30. Cloudy day in Mthatha today, 18 is a low, 32 your high. East London 22, reaching a high of 29. Cradock 19, 32. Gqeberha 20, reaching a high of 27. If you're in George, a low of 20 and a high of 26 can be expected. A sunny day in Cape Town, 20, reaching a high of 28. Worcester 22, reaching a high of 36. Sutherland 16, reaching a high of 28. And last but not least, Uppington, expect some thunder showers with a low of 21 and a high of 29 degrees Celsius. And that's where I leave your weather on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
So much to look forward to, of course. Monday being here, the temperatures are looking good. And the show is still continuing. We've got something special for you when it comes to relationships, especially during lockdown. The way to adjust and adapt to your new relationship. We've got that advice coming from you from Asha Dullabh in just a bit.
Yeah, and of course we are going to go back into the kitchen, cook up a storm. We're also making leftover chicken mini pies. If you ever wanted to know what you want to do with oorgestand, of course, we got something for you. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you after this. welcome back. You're still live. You're on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's time to get into relationship talk. Now, of course, the COVID-19 pandemic has shaken up the rhythm of our daily lives and also affected each and every one of us, whether we've been personally impacted on an emotional, psychological, financial, or even physical level. This has also inevitably had an impact on our close relationship with people and how we navigate them.
That's right. And it is Monday, and that means we're talking all things relationships. And today we're asking this question: did the pandemic make or break your relationship? Well, clinical psychologist Asha Dullabh, she is here today to help us discuss this, and we would love to hear from you. So please take your questions and any of the comments that you have, and you can redirect that via our Expresso Facebook page. Asha, what an interesting topic.
Absolutely, it is an interesting one. The pandemic has really just given us the time to look at our relationships and take perspective, looking at the pros and the cons, the strengths and the weaknesses of our relationships. So it has been a time of an awakening experience.
I think there must have also been something to a lot of couples, especially ones that traveled a lot, and now all of a sudden they were forced to spend time together, and they actually realized they don't have that much in common.
Yes. So, spending time together in a relationship can bring out a lot of stress and anxiety. And what's actually needed is solitude. And, just people spending time with themselves is very necessary. And that was quite difficult for many people. And spending too much time together was quite shuddering for many couples. And a lot of couples actually felt quite bored in their relationships. It was quite stagnant, the energy, there was no movement, and there was a range of stress and anxiety. It was amplified at such a level. So relationships did take strain. But lovely, research is showing that relationships have really done well. And at the same time, some had to decide that they had to end it. But either way, I think that we have shifted altogether.
I think if you've actually, as a relationship or as a couple, got through this past 2 years together, you can take on anything. Because, it was the emotional, the physical, the financial, everything on that level that caused those stress and anxiety. But now let's take on grief as well. A lot of people lost so much during this time, and that can obviously have an impact on relationships as well. How are you finding couples are dealing with, already the day-to-day struggles that they have between one another, but now also adding grief on top of that?
That is the biggest thing, is the loss of loved ones. Of course, we are grieving so much of our lives, but then we've lost a lot of close family members. And when it comes to grief, we must realize that we grieve very uniquely. And sometimes couples don't understand that their partner's grieving in a way that's different from the way they grieve. There's an emotional roller coaster that happens with so much emotions, apart from the grief cycle that every person has to go through. When we're looking at grief, it's something that is so personal, and sometimes there can be a lot of misunderstandings, and with that comes all the other stresses, unemployment, having to deal with children, and it can really just amplify and raise up such heightened emotions. So it's very important in this time to pause and honor one's grief. Be yourself, honor the authenticity, and it's a shared reality. This is what the pandemic has brought about, a shared reality that both partners are going through the same stresses and anxieties.
Yeah. Do you know, it's so sorry, I'm going to break your word, but it's so often we speak about our love language, but we never speak about our grief language, because that's also a whole other thing. How someone deals with something, how they, enclosed. Do I want to have my partner there? Do I want to be in a sense of solitude? Like, all of those things need to be discussed in a relationship, and I think that is exactly what the pandemic forced everyone. You had to deal with it. I'm with my partner now. Let's speak. Let's open up the communication of how I'm going to deal with this.
Absolutely, Jamie. Grief also has its own language, but it also links to our attachment styles. If we think about us, if we are in a secure relationship, we feel safe emotionally with closeness and with being apart. There's a balance between shared intimacy and time apart, where someone that is quite anxious, they actually feel safe when there's more closeness. And when other parties, when they just want to avoid, they don't want the closeness, they feel safe when there's more time, more solitude. So there's so many aspects to how we deal with grief, and it all links into so many layers, like our attachment styles. If we are securely attached, we understand each other more and we find that balance. So grief language is very important. Some of us grieve by doing things, some of us grieve by just being alone and having that solitude. But empathy is very important. Cognitive empathy and emotional empathy, which is slightly different. Cognitive is really, I understand how you feel, but emotional empathy is really putting yourself in those shoes of another human being and saying, I really can feel what you are feeling, and that is what is needed.
It's definitely what is needed. Well, Asha, we have to pick your brain on a whole lot more. I love what you were explaining about the grief, and of course, the year of the lockdown. In fact, 2020 and 2021 was also a year of a lot of loss, and we'll take a look shortly when Asha is back with us, the impact that loss had on relationships. Well, we are asking you the question, did lockdown make or break your relationship? If you'd love to join in on the conversation and ask your questions or leave your comments, you can do so on the Expresso Facebook page.
Beautiful conversation indeed, and so important right now, and we will be continuing that in just a bit, but we all know right now that the food is something that definitely feeds the soul. So what better way for a pick-me-up than this next recipe? Stay tuned.
Yeah. Yes, bring the family. 100%. Your cousin's coming over. Get the crush and I'll get the ice. The whole family.
More Crush Mom? 100% refreshing, 100% goodness.
Made with love by Clover.
Yes, plugging in all the good stuff, and we're doing that right now. We're talking about the best thing, which is involving Monday, and that's transforming Sunday's leftovers into another delectable dish without taking up too much time in the kitchen. So we want that convenience and the flavor profile as well. So if you still have decent bits of leftovers, maybe something like a roast chicken and veg, then today we're going to show you just exactly how to turn it into a mini chicken pie. Sounds delicious, right? And it's so quick and easy. It's the perfect snack, or even suitable for those work and school lunches. Now that on its own is 100%. And talking about 100%, someone that is 100% looking good, here to serve us all. It's Jenny Morris in the building. How are we doing?
Hello, darling.
I like the pink on you this morning. The pink lip with the earrings never goes unnoticed. Yeah, looks good on you.
Yes, wonderful charmer. I'll make you a
Just
pie.
being honest, and of course, you make me hot in the kitchen, so I'm going to cool down with some of my Clover Crush, of course. Can I
On your own?
Can I? Oh, of course. Look, well, the lady first.
Ladies
Can I get
first,
you one,
absolutely.
How was your weekend? You have lots of leftovers?
Darling, I have lots of memories.
Okay.
It was a lovely weekend. It was lovely.
Nice.
It was lovely.
And I think for Mzansi as well, we're getting into the swing of things. We're getting into the swing of the year as well. That means that a lot of us should have done a little Sunday roast, maybe, if it is tradition. That means we do have some leftovers.
We do.
That's for you, by the way.
Thank you, darling. Cheers. Should we have a little clink?
Yeah,
you know,
cheers.
You've got to look at my eyes when you do it. There you go, baby. Sunday roast, absolutely. And chicken is one of the most easiest, convenient Sunday roast. And once you've plucked the bones clean, keep the bones and freeze them. Make a little soup. You know when you're going into winter?
bones,
Oh,
okay.
yes,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
make
yeah.
stock. And then you can have little pies and stock.
Oh, so you're harnessing all that flavor
Yes,
that
and
you've
we're
already
keeping
worked
it later.
out. Okay,
Yeah.
I like that. Also, the fact that chicken is like a staple diet for almost any South African that's not vegetarian.
Absolutely.
You can do so much with it, and this is
Yes.
another reason to do exactly that.
And it's economical as well.
Oh, yeah, that is true. We're being
It is.
efficient. It's almost
Yes.
like upcycling.
We are upcycling indeed. As long as you don't ask me to go bicycling, I'm fine. Seriously. I was just thinking the other day that I fell off a bike once.
Oh, yeah? And? Were you okay?
Look at me, I'm still nuts.
You look good to me. What did you put in there, by the way? I missed that one. What was that? Was it a cream or a sauce?
So this is a little bit of white sauce.
Okay.
You could add cream if you wanted to. What the white sauce does, it just keeps it all creamy and holds the whole thing together. I've got some peas and I've got some carrots.
All right.
And this is just puff pastry. I want you to just roll them out for me a little bit. That's going to be the top part.
All right.
I'm going to do the bottom. I want them just slightly bigger than the top so I can press them in.
You can press and fold over, right?
Absolutely.
So don't roll it too much. You want to kind of keep the shape still, right? Okay.
So be gentle, darling.
I'll try my very best. Start of the week, we'll slide into it with some ease and comfort.
There we go.
I must just say though, chicken pie for me, it is like the only thing I thought pies came in. I never knew that you got anything else other than a chicken pie. I thought a pie was a chicken pie.
Yes.
Until I was acquainted with some of the other flavors. But again, it's something that even to this day, with all the crazy options that you do get, it's still an essential favorite for us.
And you know what? It's comfort. I think chicken pie is a comfort food.
It is. A pie is like home, warmy, hearty food.
Absolutely.
It's got all that nostalgic memory-making stuff.
Absolutely.
So I could not disagree with you on that one. Now just about the fact that we're also not just making some pies, but we're also making it with some goodness too, and that's the 100% goodness from Crush. Now you get 100% fruity, tasty goodness in every sip, and today that goodness is exactly that, the perfect refreshment to any meal or snack. You can add it to a leftover meat, you can veg it into these pies, freeze them for when you need them, but before baking them in the oven, it's exceptionally perfect for the belly. I can't even stop sipping this while we're busy making this in the kitchen, and it's a perfect companion. It's got good energy, it's got some good minerals as well, and vitamins, so it's kind of perfect
I like
accompanying
making
this.
ice blocks with that.
Oh,
I do. It's so
that is
nice.
smart. That's like flavoured ice blocks, right?
Of course it is.
Okay,
now, I want you
very
to
nice.
take the fork, darling, and just make some little go around the sides.
Are we going to be fancy over here? Okay.
And you know, kids love doing this as well, so it's nice to pop them into the kitchen. Just do that.
It's almost like Play-Doh, except it's not for play, it's for real.
It's for real. It's so for real. And also, what I would like to mention is don't be greedy. I'm so greedy. I always want to put too much of everything into anything.
Okay.
And what happens there, it's going to burst. So
don't fill these too much.
Don't overfill
I'm definitely a culprit to do exactly that as well.
I do it all the time.
Because, and the reason for that is because it's actually going to like rise up. Is it going to puff up again?
It's going to puff up, and because it's got a bit of moisture, it's going to spread out a bit.
Ah, okay. How was my food styling?
Your food styling is fantastic, better than mine. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Watch
Look
out,
at you.
I'm coming for you.
Oh, darling, I'm happy you're coming for me. I stump you every time, don't I? You're blushing.
You always get me in the kitchen, I must say. Well done, well played. You always have me one step ahead of the game. You're putting me in my place as usual. But as simple as that, it's 100% as easy as taking leftovers from the kitchen, just like Jenny Morris and I have done. We're having so much fun while we're doing it, and we're cooking up an absolute treat, and it's something you can do in the kitchen too with your family. And of course, it's got that 100% taste. So to get the recipe, head over to expresso.com, and if you missed any of the steps, don't worry, myself and this beautiful lady over here have got you covered. Check out this recap. Cheers, well done.
Made with love by Clover.
are back. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and we are talking relationships because that's what we do every single Monday. And today we're asking the question, did the pandemic make or break your relationship? Now, we are back with our clinical psychologist, Asha Dullabh, who is here to unpack this topic for us. And if you would love to weigh in with a question or a comment, please do so on the Expresso Facebook page. And we're also being joined by husband and wife, Carl and Valine Weber, who are going to share with us that their relationship has been going through during this pandemic and the hardship that has taken place for their family. And it's great to have you both here joining us. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to say bring out the tissues already because I know it was a very difficult few years for the two of you. Valine, I followed your journey on social media, just seeing what you went through. 2020 was a difficult year for you, more specifically June of that year. For those who don't know, share your story with us.
So June 2020, sure, a month I trying to forget, but you can't. I lost both my mom and my dad to COVID-19, 4 days apart. And I play back the calls that I received on the mornings of my parents' death, my mommy more the evening. And that for me is hard. It's difficult because you realize they're no longer there. And I think almost 2 years down the line, they always say the first are the worst, but I don't believe that because that pain and that void is always going to be there. They weren't just anybody, they were my parents. And the fact that we couldn't be at their funerals because we were in isolation with COVID, and it plays on the emotional and physical mindset. So yeah, it's been a rough 2 years. Grieving is not easy. You need to take time. You need to look back at the good memories, and that's what I hold on to, the good memories of my parents.
Well, you're so strong. Thank you for sharing that with us. And Carl, I know these last 2 years, given what's happened with the family, what's happened with the industry, you being a comedian, people always look to you and just expect life to be okay because you make everyone else laugh. But who's making you laugh, and how are you coping with, the loss that's going on in the background, but people still expect you to make them laugh?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I'm such a good comedian that I do make myself laugh, but yeah, it's a reality. It's a reality. Like you feel obligated to make people laugh, and also coming out of lockdown and out of this pandemic, you need to be on a good footing. But when the cameras goes off and the lights goes off, and then you're just a normal person at the end of the day. Yeah. And she makes me laugh a lot, like unintentionally.
I try.
And given everything that has happened, what kind of an impact did this have on your relationship, on your marriage?
Well, I think obviously on the emotional side, it has a mental strain on you because you constantly feel it's your duty, it's an obligation, and a need. You want to be there for your partner. But you're going through the most as well. So you both need to be there for each other. And then also the financial loss takes a definite strain. If someone says, you know what, all we need is love, no. It's just one aspect of a relationship. Financial strain is a reality. And it's really...
It's real. And many times we hear people suffering of depression and anxiety and being stressed out. And you don't realize that it could hit your home one day. And not for myself, but I looked at Carl, where depression is concerned. Depression was real, and Carl was open and out on social media, and he spoke about it. And I take my hat off for that because people don't do that. Because you just go into this dark space, and when it comes to Carl, he goes into his office, and he doesn't want to be bothered. So communication plays a big role for us, and obviously supporting each other at the end of the day.
Yeah. And I look at you guys now, this could have either make you or completely break you, but you guys came out stronger, and now you're sharing your story. Asha, I want to bring you in for this as well. Why is it so important that, people that's in a relationship rely on each other during these difficult times to say, you know what, we are going to, because this is for better or for worse. I mean, come on.
Yes. This is what we call resilience within a team. you know, it's about the quality that they have in the relationship. We're talking about superb qualities that they have, where they have spoken about patience with each other, tolerance for each other, for where they are at. I hear that they've honored each other in their relationship, allowing each other the space to really just explore and express where they both were at. The support is key here. They've really needed to support each other. And of course, you know, there's a lot of pressures and expectations, and to understand those expectations is relevant. But I honor this couple for being together. It's the team that makes it work. And this is a fabulous team of support and encouragement and love.
Well, Carl, Feline, it's so great having you here. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you
and
for having us.
Asha, you know, this is a very, I think a lot of people are taking a lot of notes from what you've been saying and sharing as we ask the question, did the pandemic make or break your relationship? If you would love to add to that conversation, whether it's your comment or your question, please do so on the Expresso Facebook page.
Such an incredible conversation, such an important one, and we will be carrying on with that in just a bit, but I want to thank everybody for sharing the information right now. You guys can also come through on our social media channels and let us know what has happened to your relationship or what you're trying to work on during this pandemic. One thing that I have to mention, though, before we get into this next segment, is the fact that there are not any rules when it came to this pandemic, especially when it comes to your relationships. It's okay to struggle. It's okay to not be slaying everything that you do, but what's more important, that you still have your partner there with you, that you can discuss the honest, open feelings that you have with each other, and with that grow to a point that you can actually deal and maybe thrive in the situation as well. And one way of thriving and one way with dealing is also just with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of fun, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing right now. So we've got our special guests in the building, and we are about to be spending the morning doing something special. So Don, Vino, Lauren Lee and Maritza are here. I'm going to be welcoming them one by one in a very special announcement, because we decided to do exactly that. Like I've just mentioned, we are going to have a little bit of fun this morning, right? So we're going to be playing a special game. You all know about this. It's one of our favorite games. It's called Music Match. You've got to find a word and make a song out of it, and I'm going to give all our contestants a word. So let the games begin. Ladies and gentlemen, our first contestant to the stage. Can I please welcome Maritza? Pew, 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 pew. Welcome to the stage, Maritza. How are we feeling?
Good. Excited.
No nerves?
No.
Fantastic. All right, now for contestant number 2, can I call in Don Vino, actually? Pew, pew, pew. Set the stage for you, Don. I know you're looking good, but are you feeling good?
Feeling good, bro.
Feeling good, feeling good. And last but not least, to the stage, can I invite the glamorous Lauren Lee?
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our 3 hot popping off contestants are here. It's Monday morning, and this is how the game works. I'm going to give each and every one of you one word, and you'll have to complete a song with that very word in it. Very simple. Make sense?
Okay.
You get one word. Lauren's looking like, huh? Are you mad? One word that I give you, you got to find a song, you got to sing it for us and the rest of Mzansi, and that will tick off your box and get you a point. So this is a 3-way challenge. Okay. Most points takes it. All right, who's going to be crowned the king of Music Match this morning? Wow. Of course, we're going to be a gentleman and let the ladies go first.
Here we go.
Maritza, I hope you're ready. Your first word is easy.
Take it easy on me, baby.
Go.
I was still a child.
Yeah.
Didn't get the chance to.
You can carry on, I'll show you one. Carry on. Nailed it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how easy it is. 1 point in the bag for Maritza. Pew, 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 pew. So officially, you have a point. You're in the lead.
Yes.
You are the queen.
How do we top that?
The round continues. Lauren Lee, are you ready?
Oh, goodness.
Your
Okay.
word for this morning is sweet. Nice and sweet.
Sweet Caroline.
Oh.
You got it. That's a point for you. All right, we're in the game. Don Vino, the pressure's on now, my man.
Man.
You are stacked up against
Feeling it.
2 winners of round 1.
Feeling it.
You ready for it? My man, your word for this morning is, this is a good one, love.
Yeah.
Give me some love. Make it good, make it good, make it good.
L is for the way you look at me. Yeah. O is
One.
Gotta spell love.
Don Vino in the building. All right, okay, so everybody's arrived. Everybody knows what the game is about. Nice and easy. It's 1-1 in the bag. Round 2, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're standing by. Maybe you can beat them to it. The next word, Maritza, is going to be away. Away. Up, and away.
Oh my
Got 10
gosh.
seconds. 10 seconds is counting.
Oh my gosh. Away.
8.
What's that? Fly me? No, that's fly me.
5.
Nope.
4.
Nope. Error.
3.
Error.
2. 1. Yeah!
Oh,
I bet you the minute you're done, you're going to think of 1,000 songs of the way. All right, so I'm going to keep that word there. You guys don't get a chance to do that word because you already had time to think about it. So, Lauren Lee, I'm going to give you a new word, all right? So we failed in a way. It's still 1-1 for everybody. Lauren Lee, your word is heart. Woo. Heart.
Hot.
Yeah.
Oh my word.
10.
Hot.
9.
Hoe kan I can't.
6. 5. Oh, man. 4.
You can do this.
2.
Don't
All right. So what happened? You guys came in so hot.
We were like
Absolutely
Like
slaying.
like this.
Don Vino, this is your chance to take the lead now, right? It's
Let me take
1-1
the lead.
apiece. We're in round 2. Final question for you is the word home. Give me a song with the word home. You got 10 seconds.
Heidi Baklikus.
Let me go home.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm much too far.
Yeah.
Come on.
Let me go home.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Don Vino has just taken the lead. 1 round left. This is your final round, all right? So, Don Vino, you can chill because you're sitting in the lead. You're 1 point ahead. It's 1-2-1. Maritza, this is your final chance. If you nail this song, we might even get 2 points up for grabs here. If you can get the crowd pumping, all right? So, your word for this morning is you.
'Cause you make me feel like
Come on, girl.
a natural woman.
Yes! Absolutely slayed it in no time at all. Maritza back in the game. It's 2-all. Only you sitting with a 1 point there. Here's your chance to come back. Your word. All right. You got this. You ready? You feeling fresh?
I think so.
Your word is one.
You're one in a million. And that's all I know.
I'll take it. We're all tied up, right? Don Vino, here's your chance. Are you going to make it or are you going to break it? It's 2-all apiece. Don Vino's final chance to take the lead. The final word of our music match game this morning is dance.
Woo.
Dance.
Dance. Come on. 10.
Oh, I wanna dance with somebody. Hey. I wanna feel the heat with somebody. Yeah.
Oh, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. A big round of applause for our three contestants in the building. You guys have been an absolute ball of fun. Thank you so much. Don Vino, officially you are the king of Music Match this week. Deserve it, of course, and we still get to hear one performance from you, so we can't wait for that. Mzansi, thank you for joining us. Don't you dare move a muscle, though, because we've got one more exciting and special performance from Don Vino, and that's one that you do not want to miss. We'll see you soon. Well done, guys.
live. It's Monday, so we're talking all things relationships this morning. And today we're asking you, did the pandemic make or break your relationship? Well, we're back with both online clinical psychologist Asha Dullabh to unpack this topic. So do weigh in with your questions and any of your comments on our Facebook page. But we're also being joined via video call by husband and wife Graham and Shamel Stanfleet, who are going to share with us what their relationship has been through during this pandemic. Good morning, guys. How are you doing this morning?
Hi, morning, guys.
We good, and you?
We're good.
It's great to have you here. And Sharmel, I'm actually going to ask you the first question because your story has a lot of similarities to our previous guests, Valine and Carl. Now, you've also experienced some close losses during this pandemic. Do you mind sharing some with us? With us?
Well, so this pandemic has been a very, very difficult period in my life. I lost my granny, I lost my mother before that, and we actually lost my mother-in-law as well.
Sure.
But it's been difficult, but having my husband helping me and being there for me and being my comfort and my shoulder to cry on has strengthened me, and it's made me get through this period in my life where I felt nothing's going to go right anymore. I lost everything. He made me realize that I've got something else to live for. And without him, I don't know what I would have done. If he wasn't in my life, I don't know where I would have been right now.
Wow, I can't even imagine what the both of you had to go through to be able to be at this point in your relationship. Graham, I'll ask you as well, how do you think, the stress and of all of this, the pandemic, the loss that you guys had, has had an impact on your relationship as well as your marriage?
Well, it was difficult. When as Shamel said, we have each other. I also lost my mother in the pandemic, and everyone was stressing because of work related. You don't work the normal hours that you do. So, yeah, they had a lot of stress on us, but for us to have each other's backs and our children, that made it worthwhile. And we realized that in everything in life, you have to depend on God and put Him first, and He will get you through the most difficult and hard times. So, yeah, just to have her in my corner, it made it all worthwhile for me.
Thank you, Graham. Well, Graham, Sharmel, we actually have Asha Dullabh, a clinical psychologist here in studio with us. And Asha, I'm actually going to ask you this question. Getting in quality time with our loved ones is so important now more than ever. But especially when a couple experiences loss, how important is it to really have quality time as a couple?
It is absolutely important. It's like continuing to water the grass in the relationship, It's quality on all levels. Quality time extends to, it's a love language, so it's quality conversations, quality rituals that maintain the relationship, that maintain the pillar of support. What I love about this couple is that they also just hang on to their faith, and that's what's needed. I think what's so important is to remember that nothing lasts forever, nothing is permanent, and even our most difficult times pass. So quality in gratitude, practicing gratitude is very important. And what we often hear in these circumstances is that there's that support from each other, that I can rely, I can depend on my partner, and that is beautiful. That is what we are all needing, and it comes with a deep level of understanding of each other's circumstances.
Shamel and Graham, sorry, before I say goodbye to you guys, what would you say are, the things that have gotten you through these tough times that you can share as advice to other couples who may be struggling with something that they are going through right now?
Jamie, communication is the most important part of it all. Open relationship, hide nothing, share everything. If you have a problem, speak to your partner. He's going to be able, or she's going to be able to help you get through that difficult period or whatever it is that you're going through. Just keep it open.
Thank you for that, Sharmel. And perhaps for you, Graham?
Yeah, I would say the same. And then, as I said before, put God first and spend more family time together. That's the most important for me. Okay. And you'll get through the most difficult times.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. Asha, as always, thank you so much for coming through and just teaching us that it's, you know, it's okay to not be okay, but it's also okay to have a person that you can rely on, depend on, especially if it's your partner, and they must also seek help. If people want to reach out to you again, how can they get hold of you?
And they can reach me on email or both on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and I'm there to help.
There we go. Well, Asha Dullabh joining us this morning as we spoke all things relationships around, did the pandemic make or break your relationship? So far, the couples we've been talking to, it definitely made their relationship a lot stronger. And of course, if you still want to weigh in on that conversation, you're welcome to do so on Expresso's Facebook page.
Thank you so much for that. But now for you, Mzansi, we've got something more special to serve you up with. Now, if you're needing a simple homemade treat that anyone can bake to have as a gap filler, well, don't worry. We've got what you need. Now, a Super M vanilla coconut cake comes together with just 6 ingredients. Simple as that. And it makes for the perfect gap filler for those in-between moments or even for maybe a post-dinner dessert. So, speaking of desserts, Jenny Morris is still here and she's here to show us how it all comes together. How are we doing?
I'm sweet, aren't I? Just too sweet.
Quick one, 6 ingredients. What exactly are they? I see a banana.
Pass me the banana.
All right, banana for you. We've got eggs. Yeah, salt.
Coconut flour.
Okay.
Some, this is what makes it rise.
Okay, so that's baking powder. Okay, what makes it rise? Well, you could be the answer to that in certain instances.
And of course, our hero ingredient.
I like it.
Yes.
So, what are we doing with our first ingredient here?
Okay,
because you've got a look on your face.
I'm going to save some for breakfast.
Okay.
Okay, so you take that and mash it, my love.
Okay. Just mashing the banana, right?
Mash the banana.
Right, got you.
And then once you've mashed it, add your eggs. And I'm going to do the really simplest thing here. I'm going to take my desiccated coconut and my baking powder.
That's what makes it rise, people. It's not just Jenny Morris's good looks that does that to us. It's actually the baking powder as well.
There we go. This lovely coconut flour.
Okay.
And just make sure that you mix it properly. You want the whole lot to be beautifully integrated. And then what I'm going to do is I want all the wet stuff in one bowl and all the dry stuff in the other one.
Got you. So you can add that to the bananas that I'm busy mashing up with the egg.
I want you to hurt that banana. Mash it.
Genuinely speaking, though, like the consistency we're going with, I've got a bit of a lumpiness here. I want to get that out, right? You can get rid of that, smooth it out.
Let's whisk it out. Take the fork.
Right.
Just do that. Mash it, bash it.
Oh, okay.
Yes?
I see.
Break it up a bit more, and then I'm going to do the
add in that good stuff.
Isn't that gorgeous, darling? And it just keeps on giving.
And this is where we can kind of customize it as well, because obviously with the Super M, you can use your favorite flavors. We're using the vanilla right now, but you can go for. Are we using chocolate?
No, we're doing vanilla too.
But you've got chocolate, you've got strawberry, you've got so many other options when it comes to these flavors, which you can get creative with. So if you're not looking into just vanilla and you want to spruce it up, then you've got options, right? And you can chop some nuts on this as well to make for like the perfect little styling. All right, I'm popping it into the... So when ingredients...
In the center.
When ingredients are done, finding that mark, hitting it in the center, nice and slow.
There we go. Look at me.
All right.
And we just mix it up nice. Can I borrow your whisk?
Of course.
I'll give you my spatula. There we go, bubbly. And then just start mixing and mix your bowl.
Let me help you out here.
Oh, you want to hold my bowl?
I got you.
You hold my bowl still.
And again, for this, is as simple as that. I mean, we've already added all the ingredients together. It's already looking like it's coming together.
Gorgeous.
It's smelling good. I can get that vanilla from the Super M as well. So, I mean, this on its own, I would maybe even want to sneak a little tasting for myself.
But raw egg.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, you know, I used to clap a young raw egg in my day. Inspired by Rocky. Yeah, man. I was like, that's how you get our protein. The times were tough, you know, the budget wasn't always there.
Give me that.
There you go.
And it is quite a stiff mixture, so don't be alarmed if you're making this at home. It's a beautiful cake. I'm going to cut you some, and I'm going to just get you. Behave yourself. Spoon that, just put that into there while I bring our cake across.
Okay, so what happens at the end of the day, though? This is going to be in the fridge, in the oven, or we grilling
Straight in the oven. We're going to bake it because it's a beautiful loaf. And then once we've pressed that down, and make sure that it just fills all the gaps.
Get it nice and even,
And we're going to just put some more desiccated coconut. Yeah, go like this, darling. This way. That's nice, my boy. Stroke it into the pan. Right. Beautiful. And look here. It's like coconut on coconut. I love it. Coconut is my most favorite ingredient. And that goes into the oven, and this goes into your mouth.
Voila, as simple as that. Of course, Mzansi, you can get this recipe. Head over to expressoshow.com. It's another perfect one that you can get involved with. You can use the Super M to make the flavors that you desire. Jenny Morris has showed us how 6 ingredients, as simple as that. Recipes over at expressoshow.com. And what else is there to do other than enjoy, I guess? Yeah, let's yes.
You take one. Yum. You took the one on the bottom. Okay, I'll take
I'll go. I wanna be sick. Oh, he's back. Move way.
Clover fresh milk.
Made with love by Clover.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Final few minutes of your feel-good breakfast show. Lauren Lee, Maritza and Don Vino are the top local artists set to entertain audiences this coming Valentine's weekend with a live concert in collaboration with Britain's Got Talent alum Faith Tucker and other supporting British acts. It is a unique show with 2 concerts taking place in 2 locations. That's Manchester Cathedral in the UK as well as Brackenfell in Cape Town, both happening at the same time. Now, we've interviewed him, but we can't let him leave without giving us a taste of what to expect. Listen, I don't even think you're ready right now. Here's Don Vino performing Run to You.
Life is what you make it. However you choose to shake, bake, and celebrate it. Here's to a great 2022. Made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.